Hold on, let me get in Roll20, I'll tell you.
What I did, are you on you're on this forest road map, aren't you?
Yeah, we're just...
So I'll shift ping you to the bottom of the map. I just want to show you something I did to make life easier. So previously I had like saved copies of the wagons and I was like copy pasting them from a token bank. What I did today, or yesterday I think it was I made character sheets for them. They've got no information in the character sheets, but just to attach them to a token so I can go like this super quick. Boom. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So any map we're on, I can just pull, just like I can pull Ralph and Eleanor out because I made tokens and sheets for them, I can actually pull out their carts like really fast as well. Before it was like a big carry on to pull them out, now I can just go.
Good idea.
Yeah. Handy.
We'll have to go along to the enchanter's shop when we get to the town and see whether he's got any spells. Worth asking.
Well, we have a spell book and we have 5 spell scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
So those can be looked into as well.
I'm just looking.
Yeah, if you can see my sheet to see what spells are out, feel free to like think of some that you want to memorize now.
So Artan, being from the town of Narazir where you're headed, has told you some things about the town. One of them is that there is an enchanters and magic item shop called the Amber Oracle, owned by a man named Ernest Addington, and he does know of some of the special items, so I've put those information in there.
So in this case, is the enchanter the wizard? Are you talking about a subclass of wizard?
Well, you're asking Artan. Artan's not sure. He says it's called an enchanter shop, and that's where the place where you buy magic and magic things. He doesn't know much more than that.
Yeah, we've got stuff that needs
He's
identifying as well, so we'll have to ask him whether he can do that for us.
He's not ever had any kind of business there in that place because of his profession. He's a sword for hire / what would you call him, a guard? He's a security guard, bodyguard. He's a bodyguard. Yeah, a mercenary bodyguard. He's never had any.
I thought he was our lover, to be honest.
It's interesting that you say that.
We have our suspicions.
It's very interesting that you say that. Like, it tells you about all the major establishments in the town. So the drinking establishments, I've got the Cozy Raven, is just on the edge of town as you go in, and it's an inn and tavern. And he knows the woman that owns it. She's a gnome named Lupmotin Wildwander. There is the Amber Respite, which is okay. That was one that overlooks the waterfall. The third that I have is a place called the Platinum Gorgon. That's the high-end place in the Unicorns Village district of the town. That's where the middle classes go to drink. And you have Bella's Bar, which is the rough dive bar. And he's been in there 3 times. He knows it quite well. Drinking hole in the market district of Narazir, owned by Bella, who comically is last named Le Ball.
Okay, what Darrow wants to know is, where's got good Dwarven ale?
Artan would point you to Bella's Bar. That's where you're most likely to get a decent Dwarven ale. That's where miners drink, that's where adventurers drink, that's where the rougher side of life drink. The dwarfs, the guards, all these guys. He suggested Bella's Bar.
The dregs of society.
Yeah, he says it's a great drinking hole though. It's the best place in town. He says the most expensive place would be the Platinum Gorgon, but the best place is Bella's Bar. He's also given you information about a weapon and armour smith, an alchemist, a jeweller shop, and an enchanter shop, as you can see.
How long are we? So we get to, because you're still showing us on the...
I'll change to the world map. Yeah, I'll change to the world map.
So basically we've got 2 prisoners who we're taking...
How many were still alive? 2?
2.
Okay.
One NPC type, one
And 1 bandit, that's right.
bandit.
Okay, so let me just
And
move.
NPC one was the ugly dwarf fighter.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't see many of those around, do you?
So, I'll shift ping you to where you are on the map.
And how long are we spending in this place?
2 days.
2 nights or 2 full days?
So you'll arrive at night time, and then you'll spend 2 full days, and then leave in the morning. So at night time, it's 1 night, a full day and a night, a full day and a night, and leave in the morning. So 3 nights, 2 days. But the only reason it's not a busy town, at least doesn't have a lot of business there, the only reason she stays there for 2 days is because that's where Artan is from. Artan will go and see his wife and kids.
Narazir, so it's this place at top. His wife and kids. Interesting.
His wife and kids, yes. That's why it makes it very interesting what Tammy said before about a theory about them being lovers.
Still doesn't mean they're not, though.
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
we have our suspicions.
You were about a fifth, a quarter of the way up the road to Narazir, I think, something like that. When you were ambushed on the road by bandits.
Yeah. So we've got to take the. So it's that far away.
The whole day's travel, yeah. Let me just pull out the ruler. So you're about here. So you've got.
So it means we can't be sent. We've got a good excuse for not being sent back to deal with the trolls.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a whole day's travel. The trolls was way back here. Oh, I'm not on the ping. Trolls was way back here.
But they were near the hub. They were before the previous town, right? Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're well beyond the trolls.
No, you're way past that anyway. So the trolls was back here. You were told about them at the halfway in. By the Dark Blades. They then were seen at Haybrook by Kiara and Sneaky Nook when they slept outside. Seen going into the same place as you. And then they ambushed you from behind when you were ambushed from the front by the bandits. And that's where you are now. Late morning, I guess it is. How many days till court is it? We should always check that at the start.
1 second and I will tell you.
39.
Still 39, I think.
39 days to court. Okay.
Yep,
Now,
days to court. 38, actually.
Oh, 38. Okay, so
38.
I'm going to put us back onto the Forest Road map just so that we can get a reminder of the situation.
I was so
about-
close.
I'm about to push to talk.
Okay, thank you. So, you were ambushed by 6 bandits. A couple of them got away. This one's tied up, right? You did a sleep spell on him and tied him up. These 3 are dead. And the group of the Dark Blades, as they called themselves, that sold you the chainmail, Sayula, Selenia, and Isel are dead. Ercus is tied up. Remind me what happened with him? How did we finish with him?
He was held and then knocked unconscious and then stripped out of all his armour and such like.
That's right.
And tied up.
He was held and you pulled his helmet off, revealing his super ugly face, and then you smacked him in the back of the head and knocked him out. And didn't you get a critical hit?
Oh, I think it was something like that, yes.
And didn't you get like backstab damage? And didn't you do like 33 points of knockout damage or something crazy? I think you
It was
did, yeah.
very carefully placed below.
Yeah. It was a beauty, yeah.
Yes. A deep gnome nerve pinch.
Is that what you call it? It was epic, like. Just changing the size of that so people can see. So that's him, Ercus. He was a dwarf fighter and he had like big heavy armour on and a full face helmet. And when you took it off, there was a scarred, hideous, ugly face. And he is held and now tied up, Unconscious and now tied up, sorry.
And we have his armour.
Yeah.
We have everything of his.
Well, maybe not his underwear.
He's still wearing that.
Did I give you a rundown of what was in their character sheets?
You gave us a list of all the loot.
Did I give you the items?
Yes. Do you want me to post the loot list again?
No, if you want to give me a quick reminder of some of them, because that bit of paper's it's way back in my notes.
Okay.
There was a fancy hammer, right? A fancy morning star, right?
Let's see. We had...
I've got character sheets for them.
There's a magic morning star, plate mail, some healing potions and other potions, a strange mask. There's 2 scrolls, a spell book, a fancy warhammer, fancy plate mail, and a magical holy symbol. Although it's probably not a very nice holy
A
symbol.
lightning bolt holy symbol, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a holy symbol of Talos. You already determined that. This was a reminder of where we are. You were on the road. You've got... Ralph hid, didn't he? He hid under a blanket or whatever in the back of the thing. But yeah, that's where you are. You've got 2 prisoners. He's tied.
Yeah.
He's tied up.
I can
And-
remember Darrow told Ralph to hide.
Yeah. Just going to move some stuff around on the screen. Just because things are in the bottom right of
Do
this
we have
map.
anybody left to kill?
But you've got a couple of tied up guys you could kill if you really wanted, I guess.
We have 2 prisoners, and one doesn't normally slaughter prisoners, mistress.
No, I just meant like left to fight, not to
Oh,
kill
there's,
them.
there's 2 bandits went that way.
Yeah, 2 ran away to the west. That direction.
I'm not feeling it's a waste of time chasing them. I mean, they didn't manage to shoot us with their crossbows, did they?
Short bows. I think.
Short bows.
I don't remember actually. It doesn't really matter. But you know, they never managed to hit you. Then the 2 of them ran away. They were the 2 that had the bows. The other 4 attacked you with melee weapons, I believe.
Well, I would guess that Mistress Elise wishes to continue as soon as possible. Anyway,
Anyway, you want to just head back onto the road?
keep going. Yes.
I think so.
What are you doing with the dead bodies? And are you taking all their stuff? Have you got a list of what you've taken?
I hope there's a spell book in there as well.
Yes. There's
There was.
spellbook, 5 spell, 5. Well, we've got 2 scrolls as well from him. A strange mask.
You've got a massive list of unidentified items now, don't you?
Yes, we've got about 8 magical items that need identifying.
Wow. So you're just going to hit the road then?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with the bodies?
Those we ought to take them with us, but it depends whether.
Yeah.
Well, how long
Cart.
to the next town?
Well, you're a quarter of the way through the day, and it's the other 3/4 of the day travelling.
We just stick them in the bushes. We need to make ground. Just put them under the bushes and let's go.
We've got whatever we need to take to prove a kill.
Yeah.
Right ears, I think.
You were cutting bandits' right ears off previously.
Mm.
I don't mind really. I mean,
These other guys weren't bandits, so these other guys were like bad guys.
well, if there's a price on their head, then they're bandits, in my opinion.
Well, why don't we take their heads along, and then that will stop
but-
anybody bringing them back to life, and it will also prove who we dealt with.
But also then they'll say, why were these people after you? And then I don't want any questions asked about my chainmail because nobody's getting it back.
They were just in charge of the bandits, weren't they? They were a band of adventurers that had fallen in with bandits and waylaying people on the road.
Yeah,
We take the
what they
bandits. We take the bandits' ears then. we could chop off their heads.
Well, unless you want to draw a picture of them, I don't know what your art skills are like, but it's likely that they may have been involved in all sorts of scams, etc. We know that they were staying in the previous town that we were at.
I was just looking at my notes. Any bandits killed or captured earn a 20 gold pieces reward claimed in any Kingsguard station.
They're definitely bandits, in my opinion.
Put it this way. Who are we working for? Mistress Elise. Mistress Elise, do you consider those were all bandits?
Yes.
Right. Sorted. She's a well-known merchant in good standing.
Yep.
And we've got a local, hopefully in good standing too, in Artan.
Artan is a local of the town of Narazir. And, I mean, if you ask me to tell you that he's well known in the town, you would assume that he's well known in the town because Elise is well known everywhere she goes up and down this road. Artan has been with her for a while. She did have another 2 bodyguards. That's why she hired you, because she lost those 2. But Artan has been with her a long time.
I bet he has been.
And she's very reputable, as you see. She may be quite miserable and grumpy and a bit racist towards dwarfs, but people seem to like her everywhere she goes. She's very popular. So, you hit the road.
Yep.
Yeah, so as you... On the road, yeah, so Artan, he'll tell you about his wife and kids live in Narazir. He's going to go and see them for 2 days. He gets 2 days off every time they come up and down this road. It's the last time he'll see them again for another month. He tells you all about how it's built on this old ancient city that fell into the sea several hundred years ago. Narazir, there's a beautiful one of the taverns has got a beautiful upstairs balcony where you can sit and look right over the waterfall where you have your meal and your drinks. He tells you about the jewellers in town are a pair of old hag sisters called Crystal and Jade. The shop's called Crystal and Jade, and then he says you go in the shop and you meet Crystal and Jade and you're like, okay, so they're obviously not the jewels of the store. He cracks a few jokes about that. And, like I said before, he'll tell you about where you'll get a good dwarven ale. That's most likely at Bella's Bar. And he just reminisces about his kids and his wife and how he longs to see them. He's got 1 son and 1 daughter. His wife doesn't have to work because he's paid very well by Elise. But unfortunately, he doesn't get to see them very much. He's like for 2 days every month while they're working in this season.
How old are the kids?
He's got young children, a 6-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. But they're happy, comfortable children because, like I say, his wife doesn't work. He's very well paid, so they live a good life. They live in a decent part of town. Everything's good. He can't wait to go home. He's very excited to see his family. And just to see home for a little while as well, even if it is just for a couple of days. It's a sacrifice he has to make. He is very well paid, but he doesn't see his family as often as he would like. But hopefully, at this rate, the way he's paid, he'll retire young. And then get to spend a lot of years with his family, living comfortably, not having to work.
Yeah, ask about the local law office, the sheriff or whatever, and what that guy's like, because we're going to be presenting these prisoners and corpses or bits of corpses.
Okay, he'll tell you that he doesn't know much about the sheriff other than his name is Anton Fane. He's a former adventurer. You can see by the scars on his face and just by the mannerisms of the man. He walks and talks like a man of worldly experience. Everyone in the town looks up to him and respects him. The town is known for being very, very low crime because everyone likes the captain of the Kingsguard there, the sheriff, and has a lot of respect for him. He's a very fair man. That's about as much as he knows about the lawmakers of... It's the Kingsguard, it's the same law all over this country, and he is the sheriff of the local Kingsguard. Anton Fane, he's called. Anton, like Anthon, but then with a D on the end. Anton Fane.
Okay.
He says he's a good man, everybody looks up to him, everybody likes him. If you stay on the right side of the law in Narazir, you will have a good time. No one will bother you.
check on the good place to stay that, as far as Darrow's concerned, cheap but no bed bugs is sort of what he's looking for.
Okay, well, I'm going to change the maps again then. Just to show you the layout of the town. So you can see the names of the places that he's mentioned, including his house. Did I put that on the GM layer or is that on the right layer? You can see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Artan's home.
Yeah.
So he lives up...
Can't see a label for it.
You don't see anything for it, no?
No.
It's got a red line round it.
Oh, has it? Someone was pinging like up the top.
No, I'm pinging
It's
here.
like, yeah. It's like up the.
Is
I
there,
see it.
is there an orange box with Artan's home written, yeah?
That's it, yep.
Yeah, okay. And everything else you should be able to see. So that's your Platinum Gorgon, the Amber Oracle, Crystal and Jade. That's the Jewelers, the Enchanters, and the high-end bar. The Bella's Bar, that was the Rough Pub. The Kingsguard Station. Sybil's Mall was the Armour and Weaponsmith. The Amber Retreat was another bar, and I don't think it was an inn, just a tavern. And Dondonzora was the Alchemist. So that's all the places that he's told you about. And the Cozy Raven, sorry, I saved that for last, because that's where he at least says that she'll be going to stay. Artan is going home, he's going to his family. But at least says she'll go and stay at the Cozy Raven. They've got a lot of rooms and they've got a nice room for her. It's a very busy place, it's a very friendly place. The food and drink are nice. She's looking forward to staying there for a couple of days. And she's actually quite friendly on the walk into town, and she's telling you about how it's a nice place to stay in Narazir. She doesn't do much business there. She takes a little break. But the Cozy Raven is a lovely place to stay. There's usually some sort of bard or entertainer or someone playing. Yeah, she's very excited to get there. She says it's a good meal, a great bed, and it'll be a nice stop. I mean, we're just travelling from one town to the next. Do any of you guys have any interactions with each other? Or with the prisoners, I guess, because you've got prisoners.
Well, we'll keep a close eye on the dwarf to make sure he doesn't wriggle free from his bonds.
All right.
It's just. Sorry, I'm still getting the hang of this fucking mute thing. It's still just like bandit prisoners we've got. We killed the other guys, didn't we?
No, there's one bandit prisoner, and one of the guys is from the group of...
From that group.
Yeah, he's the dwarf.
I might walk with him. I want to know what they were doing.
Okay. I'll just keep an eye. I'll keep an eye on Kiara. I'm just a little concerned she might take extreme actions to stop people asking about a certain suit of armour.
Okay, so that's everybody that's in town. So, where is everybody going? Artan, in fact, I'll pull these up one at a time. You want to, there's no interactions for on the road, you want to just pull up to the town, are you ready for that?
Yeah, fine by me.
If Mistress Elise has time at our stop to evaluate the gems that we have and the jewelry we have, that would be very, very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, you stop for lunch and you stop for dinner, is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So, which gems do you have that are not valued?
We have the chest of gems that we picked up from Dirtfinger's area that had the 3 deeds to the mines inside.
Yep, okay, bear with me a moment. I'll tell you what that's worth. So she will do her appraisal on it for you. And it is worth... You need to give me a minute because that's not on this character sheet digitally, that's written down. So many notes. Rust monsters. Ooh, I just need to go back a little bit. Oh wow. Oh no, 250. It's worth 250 gold pieces. The little chest of gems that he had. There you go. Is that it? Is that all your unidentified gems? unvalued.
No, sorry, how much were they?
250 gold.
250 gold. And then there's the stuff that we picked up from the attackers just now. The thief had a bag of gems.
Yep, I've got that on their character sheets, I believe. So if you'll bear with me a moment, I'll open those up.
Well, we've got the 3 bags of gems that we picked up from them.
Have you not picked up? You've not confiscated the dwarf's bag of gems?
One of them didn't have a bag of gems.
Alright, so okay. So the dwarf, Ercus, he had 550 gold worth of gems.
Okay.
Selenia was 675 gold pieces of gems on her possession. Issel, that was the mage guy.
Yep.
He was the one that didn't have any gems in his possession.
Yep.
And Sayula had 360 gold pieces worth of gems in her possession.
Really good.
Nice haul.
It is indeed.
That's why you got so many XP points last week.
There is also this big platinum necklace with a very large ruby, which you said didn't detect as magic. We picked up from Dirt Fingers.
And you would like her to value that for you?
If you wouldn't mind.
She says it's a very rare piece, and I couldn't give you an exact value because it's unique, and you would have to find the right buyer. But it's going to be a lot of money, and she thinks between 1,000 to 2,500, 3,000 gold pieces. She says she's sorry she can't be more accurate with it, but it's not something you see very often. And she says depending on the buyer, minimum 1,000 gold pieces, maybe up to 3.
We want to try a bigger town, I guess, that might have.
I think so. Yes. Very good.
Do you know what, honestly,
Thank you very much indeed,
as the DM, I can't wait for you to have all those items identified that you've been collecting and not having identified, because there's so much cool stuff in there.
Yeah, I could do with a ring of protection if there is one.
Oh, you have got several between the group.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that would be particularly useful for me when we're standing here in no armour.
Elven chainmail would be particularly useful for you. It's a shame the group hasn't got a set of elven chainmail.
Well, or a second one.
Yeah. Right, okay, so.
I mean, one not of dubious origin.
Yeah, and I think 2 of the rings of protection we have are lent to us rather than actually being our property.
Was that the ones you got from Marcus in...
Yeah, I think they
back
were
on the other
loaned.
island? Sorry, Tammy was going to say something?
Oh, I was just saying I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, sharing a suit of armour. That could be.
Yeah.
It could be a squeeze.
We can try. We can try. Yeah. Kiara's happy with that.
Well, yes, well, that could be fun.
So, any more interactions between the party, or with Artan, or with Ralph, or with Eleonora, or with the prisoners before we go into town?
Oh, we're not in town yet, no.
No, I'm just getting... If there's any conversations or interactions on the road between where you are and there, just want to get them out of the way first.
Darrow had been talking to the guards rather than to that party. What were people's impressions on this dwarf? Was he... I got the impression that he wasn't the leader type, shall we say.
No, it wasn't the leader type. I think you got the impression from the group that he was like almost not a leader type, but like a front type, like a front for a leader type, because he was scary looking and tough looking. But you think the brains of the operation and the real leader was the thief, the rogue, the one that tried to backstab, I think it was Andamakar.
Started with Artan.
Well, I started with Artan, that's right, yeah. Tried to backstab Artan.
Luckily I was on the cart, otherwise he'd probably tried to backstab me.
Yeah, she was the leader of the party.
Sorry, she.
The cleric was a human male. The rogue was a female halfling. No, the cleric was a female human. The rogue was a halfling female. The dwarf was a male fighter, and the mage was a male human.
I might just outright ask them where the fuck they got it for. Was it really for somebody that died that was with them, or did they like steal it for someone?
So you want to ask Ercus the dwarf that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess he won't have been knocked out forever. He'll have woke up tied up. Though of course there'll have been a furore then. He'll have went mental, but Andy McCarr made a successful check on his rope use proficiency, so he's well tied and he didn't get anywhere. So after he calms down, you can have a conversation with him if you want.
Yeah.
So there's a armor. You took his armor off him. There's a dwarf in his underwear, super fucking ugly, tied up, super angry, in the back of your wagon, and you want to interrogate him.
Yeah, he'll probably feel pretty vulnerable just now.
All right, so go for it.
Where did you actually get the armor from? Is it actually from someone that you were with that died, or did you steal it for someone?
So this dwarf look at you and say, "I promise you, lass, that armour definitely came off someone that died."
Oh yeah, okay. Somebody that died that was with you, or somebody that just happened to be dead.
I was definitely there when she died, lass. Don't you worry. And then he spits blood in your face. Fuck you. Fuck you, elf. He's got half his teeth are missing, and the blood's drooling down his face, and he looks disgusting. He's already an ugly bastard, and he spits blood at you.
What was the last weapon that I used? My dagger?
I think so.
No, it wasn't.
No?
Or was it magic?
I think...
No, I got some flying shots, actually. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have anything in my hand. I'm going to, slap him for spitting on it. It's disgusting. Properly slap him for it.
Go for it. You don't need to roll to hit or anything. He's tied up.
Nice. I'm going to try and knock his other tooth out.
Roll 1d20, and if you roll a 1, you miss. But, yeah, give him a slap. There you go. So you slap him good. Let's say it's such a good slap that one tooth that was already loose from the getting knocked out by Stinky Nook early, you knock another tooth out. A tooth comes pinging out, and there's another spurt of blood comes from the dwarf's mouth.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Beautiful scenes.
Yeah. Disgusting. I was only asking. I'm not a fucking sheriff, and I'm not giving you the suit of armor back, so...
Wouldn't fit me anyway, and I wouldn't want it. Elven crap. Spits on you again.
I'm not speaking to him again. But I'm above spitting on someone, even if he is a disgusting, ugly dwarf.
Darrow, do you hear this conversation?
I bet he has Peters and people.
Darrow's got 14 charisma.
You have to get that kit, I believe.
Yeah. Darrow's not ugly.
Darrow's not an ugly dwarf.
This guy sounds hideous. Sounds absolutely disgusting.
This guy's got a 4 charisma and missing teeth and scars, and yeah, he's hideous.
I might just get Charlemagne to walk very close beside me.
It looks like he spent a year headbutting an orc.
And now he's got one less tooth.
Yeah, he's got one left. He's only got 3 left now. He had very little, and he's got one left. One less. Thanks to Gareth's slap.
We'll see how many of them that you've got left by the time we get back to this town.
Anybody else want to have any interactions with him or anybody else?
Where is he? Which cart is he in?
It's up to you guys. I mean, no, it's not up to you guys.
Mistress Elise's cart is full of her merchandise.
Correct. Mistress Elise doesn't want prisoners in her cart.
Exactly.
So you've got
both
2.
of them are in our cart.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. no torturing the prisoners.
That's definitely not torture. Don't worry.
Just get warmed up. Anybody else? Anything else before we get to town? And you've got whatever you want to do or say to anybody, because you've got a long journey. So that's why I'm like making sure we get everything out of the way before we arrive at town.
I don't know, I'm just enjoying a nice walk in the countryside.
It's a crisp day. It's like I said before. It's mid-autumn now, so the weather's cool. You might have rain showers. It won't be the most beautiful day, but you're outside for a change.
Yeah, I know.
And the autumn is so beautiful, isn't it? I've seen more than 100 of them, but I never, I never tire of them.
It's one of those days where I got to wear my goggles.
So, you want to arrive at town then?
Yes.
Okay, so you arrive late at night. And there's 2 guards on the door, Albert and Ernest. They're both quite old men, actually. They're not the green young lads you saw before. These look like they're veterans, actually, of the King's Guard. They introduce themselves, Albert, Ernest. They say, unfortunately, there is a curfew in the town just now. No one can come in after dark. You will have to sleep outside. You can't come in until the morning.
Okay, is there anybody else already outside the gates, or are we the first?
There's no one else sitting outside the gates.
Okay.
He lets...
Is that a farm to the south?
Yes.
We've got 2 prisoners to hand over.
I'm afraid you'll have to leave them until the morning. No one gets in or out. No non-residents get in or out. And yeah, he says non-residents as he looks at Artan, because Artan gets in. Eleonora doesn't. Not even Eleonora, with all her money and influence, is getting in. He's getting past these guys. But
Elise.
Elise, yes, sorry, Elise. Not even Elise, with all her influence and money, is getting past these guys. But Artan, who lives here, does. They said that there's a sickness in the town. The churches are overwhelmed. They can't let people travel in and out outside of certain hours, and it's all regulated when you do come in and out. So you will have to stay outside for the evening and come back after sunrise.
Yeah, we have some healing magic.
Well, you
How did I guess that there would be something going wrong in the town? Misfortune seems to dog our heels, or indeed run ahead of us.
Now, Albert, the taller of the 2 guards, he says, I'll explain it to you. It's not anything totally too untowards. This town is built on an old town, and our sewer system's terrible. And when there's too many rats, when we have a bad season with rats, disease spreads, and just the churches can't keep up with all the curing. And right now we're just having a really, really bad winter with the rats. 2 rat catchers have gone missing recently. The last 2 rat catchers have gone missing. We had to bring in a famous rat catcher. What was his name? And he's going to try and remember the guy's name. We even brought in a famed dwarf vermin slayer from Rockholm. The famed Auric Aldrinson. Now, Darrow from Rockholm, you've heard of him, right? He's just a famous... It's a quite a famous role in Dwarf Society, the Vermin Slayer, right? The guys that go into the tunnels and kill the vermin. They had to hire an expert from Rockholm, and he's went missing. So just at the rat population, there's no rat catchers. Nobody wants to work for the rat catcher anymore. The rats are too dangerous. The guy can't get anybody to work for him anymore, and the rats are taking over the town again, and the garbage is piling up, and the sewers are... Yeah, it's causing disease to come out of the sewers with the rats, and the churches can't keep up, so they're having to regulate who comes in and out of the town and at what times.
So can we discuss with him then Artan taking Elise's trailer with like our valuable stuff, because we're probably going to have to stay outside tonight.
Well, it's a conversation between Artan and Elise first of all, whether she trusts him with that and if she wants him to do that. But Elise would say, no, Chiara, you guys are paid to be my bodyguards. You will protect me out here for the night.
Okay, I will ask the guards whether the farmer to the southeast has somewhere where we can stay overnight? Is he willing to rent out barn space or something?
I'll need to quickly name him then. It's one of those where you've not named somebody yet. So there's a farmer down there. There's a friendly goat farmer named Marek. That's Marek. There's a couple of farms down there, but the closest farm you see just as you came into town there. Marek's a good man. He might put you up somewhere in a barn or something. Go try him. In fact, tell him that Albert and Ernest sent you. He's a drinking buddy of ours. He drinks in Bella's bar with us. He drinks with the guards. He's a good man. Yeah, if you tell him that we recommended, maybe he'll put you up in a barn or something.
Okay. In that case, we'll say good night to Artan. What time do the gates open in the morning?
Sunrise.
Okay, so we'll see him at the gates at sunrise, if that's okay.
But you said that to Artan. You want to meet him?
Well, hang on. Sorry, has he been given leave now?
He's got leave to go in, yeah.
Okay, fine. But he's free from now for
Yeah,
2 days.
yeah.
Is
Once
that right?
once he's in, he's free for 2 days.
In that case, forget it. I thought he needed to be with
Okay.
Elise to go to the cozy the Raven, but no.
You-
All right, in that case,
You'll
just
notice.
say bye to him.
You notice when the guards do let him in the gate, you notice him having to put something over his face, and they get him to pull over like a sleeve or a rag or something and tie it around his face so he covers up the bottom half of his face as they let him in the town.
And I'll just make sure that he knows where we're going to be staying, so that if his family is ill, he knows where to come for help.
So Eleonora she told you about the Cozy Raven chat. She really enjoys the place, and that's where she'll be going to stay.
Okay.
So
I suggest we stay at the Cozy Raven because it's also close to the gates.
Okay.
So if we need to take Charlemagne outside for a walk, which is probably sensible if we're going to be 2 days in town, then it's close to the gates. So if we say to Artan we'll be at the Cozy Raven, assuming that they've got rooms.
Okay.
Then if his family is not well, he knows where to come for help.
Okay. So you're going to go and check out the farm just to the south of the town?
Yes, if we could go and talk to the farmer, I think.
So that's everybody is returning except Artan. Elise is going to come with you, disgruntled, but you're a bodyguard. You'll find her somewhere to stay, and it will do for the night. She'll get into the nice town tomorrow in the morning. It's one night. She's going to go over it.
Okay. We'll see if we can rent some space from the farmer.
Okay, so you get to a farm, like just out of town, like 5 minutes walk outside of town. It's very late at night. The lights are off in the house.
Okay. Knock politely on the door.
Okay. Who is it? After a few minutes. Who is it? You hear.
This is Schninkenuk, one of the caravan guards for Mistress Elise. We'd like to know whether we could rent some space to stay overnight. We arrived after curfew.
Go away. Don't be stupid. This is a farm, not an inn. Please, leave me alone. It's middle of the night. Me and my wife are sleeping. Please, come on now. Show some respect. Don't you know there's a plague in the town? I don't know you.
Is it all right if we camp against the back of one of your barns, sir?
Do you want me to try? Because
Yes, if you're better at
I'm
talking to
young
him, then
and
go
I've got quite good charisma. I'm just thinking, like, if his approach to you is not very good, then like maybe like a young girl on her own might be.
You could mention the two people the two guards who recommended him to us.
It is worth remembering, Tammy, that your character, Kiara, is a young, attractive female. That's the point you're making, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've got decent charisma and stuff too. So
So you want to have a go at him?
yeah, please. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, what do you say?
I maybe leave Charlemagne a little bit further at the back, but I'll go forward a bit. I'm so sorry. We know it's late, and we know that you're sleeping. That's part of the problem, because everyone is, and we can't get into the town, and we're going to have to stay out here tonight. And I had just thought that if we had somewhere that was like closer in and wasn't in the wilderness, that I might be safer. the guards at the gate had recommended your farm. That's why we had came, but we are so sorry. Is there anywhere at all that we can stay?
I mean, you can sleep outside of my property. I'm not going to chase you away.
Thank you so much. Is it okay if we come slightly further in for shelter and because it's scary out here and I don't know this town either. It would be nice to think that we were kind of sheltered a little bit, even if we are outside.
Look, just be gone in the morning. If I never see you again, then we don't have a problem. If you want to sleep outside on my property, go ahead. But I'll never want to see you again. I don't want to see you in the morning. Be gone before I'm up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're so sorry. Thank you.
So he shuts. He didn't even open the door. He opened just a wee hatch and he was shouting through that. He shuts the hatch and goes back to bed.
Okay.
That's fine, guys. We're not going to get chased at least, so.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of point in mentioning Albert and Ernest. He just wasn't interested. Right. Well, if there's a barn, then I suggest we just make a camp against the back of the barn. We can put an awning over to give Mistress Elise some shelter.
You have tetanus and stuff, right?
We can post guards.
Can we like pull up the wagons and make like a little bit, and then she could maybe sleep in the wagon.
Yes. I mean, if we pull the wagons up against the back of the barn, take the horses out and put them between the two wagons, and put an awning, fix an awning to the side of the barn over the wagon, then the people not on watch can sleep. Yep.
Elise has a bed in her wagon.
Ah, fine. In that case, if we just put an awning down, a couple of ground sheets or canvas sheets down over the top to keep any rain or dew off her, then we can stand guard around the wagons and the rest of us can sleep in our wagon.
I mean, you're well paid enough, right?
And we need.
I've not seen any pay yet.
and the watch is as much keeping an eye on the prisoners as anything else.
Yes.
So because you're watching, I mean, Artan's away, so you've got the full responsibility now of watching Mistress Elise, and you've got 2 prisoners as well. So I want you to be detailed with who's taking what watch and in what order. Then tonight, we don't normally be pedantic about it, but tonight I do want to know like the exact order of the watch, who's on with who and at what times.
Can I go? Does anybody mind if I go like now, from now till whenever?
The first watch.
Yeah.
Given we've got an inactive day ahead or two, I think we should be up half the night, each person.
Sneaky Nook is going to stay up all night. It doesn't matter if he sleeps all day tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Well, I'd rather half the night for a reverie, but I don't mind taking watch for half the night. I have no particular things to do tomorrow other than learn some spells, and we've got to get things identified, that kind of thing.
So Kiara's going to take half a watch, Adamankar's going to take half a watch, and Sneaky Nook's going to do the whole night. So you've got 2 people all night already.
Okay.
If Adamankar and I are doing half a watch and we're doing the first one each, can we theoretically do spells?
If you take a watch together, you could do spells. So,
Yeah.
So
like if we set up and do the first one, we could do that.
So that means there'll be 3 of you on the first watch. Adamankar, Kiara,
Are we
and
having 2
Sneaky
watches
Nook.
or 3 watches, Darrow?
Well, I think most people have said they'll be up half the night, apart from you, up all night.
Yes, because we've got
So they're having 2 watches or 3.
we got from
You both watching.
we got from fairly late at night until sunrise. That's not all that long a time, really, is it? So I mean, it's probably only about 4 hours each
Okay.
at most.
Okay, so Kiara, Andamakar and Sneaky Nook first watch, Darrow, Eleonora and Sneaky Nook second watch.
Let me just write it down. I'll just be a moment.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So second was Eleonora, Darrow.
And Sneaky Nook.
Yep.
I would suggest Sneaky Nook is in the wagon with the prisoners, keeping an eye on them and also watching from a higher vantage point.
Okay. And
And then he can always wake the other 2 in the wagon if need be.
Okay, and on your first watch, Anna Makar and Kiara, you want to do some things with your spells?
If you're doing things with your spells, you're not on watch.
We can do that tomorrow. We'll have time tomorrow to learn spells and rifle through spell books. Besides, the light here is terrible.
Non-existent.
Alright, so you guys have the first watch, the three of you. So Darryl, Peter, I'll come to you after, then we'll do the second watch. Do you guys want to do anything during your watch?
I'm just keeping an eye on these two prisoners and watching out for trouble approaching.
Shall I roll for random encounters?
I'd rather you didn't.
Don't you think it would be unrealistic if I didn't know, David? Really? You'd rather I did it?
It's very unlikely we're going to get random encounters round the town. I mean,
well, like outside of the town, like in the woods and the farms where there's a goat farm, you don't think you might find a bear or a wild cat or something that like eats goats?
Oh, no. I mean, this goat farm's been here a long time. I mean, they'll have tried to break in before and know that there's no point.
Yeah, we might have to shoo a goat away. It might try to nibble the
I
canvas.
think the goats are probably in the barn.
I rolled for it. First watch goes off without any encounter.
Surely good.
So, Darrow, you have the second watch with Eleonora and Sninkanook. Are you wanting to do anything?
Well, he might walk a bit backwards and forwards. Keep a lookout with his infravision.
All right.
Yeah, we've got a party all with infravision, haven't we?
Yes.
We've all got infravision.
Yes. Let me just roll another one. Okay, so no encounter for the second part of the night for the second watch then. So you wake up at dawn. Darrow, you're already up. Eleanor, you're already up. Sninkanook, you're already up. So,
Yep.
Kiara and Anna Makar, you wake up at dawn. And Ralph.
Okay.
Sorry, and Ralph.
And we hook up the horses and pull the wagons away from the barn and head back to the road so that we're in front of the gate at sunrise.
Are you having breakfast first, or are you hoping to have breakfast in town?
No, the farmer said he wanted us away before he got up.
That's right, I'm glad you remembered that. So you're going to head back to the road?
Back to the road, and then up to the gates to wait for them to open.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on board.
If there's plague or illness in the town, mistress, is it wise going in there to attempt to sell? Would it not be better to see whether we can rig up somewhere outside the city where you could sell your wares?
Perhaps this could be a good idea, Sninkanook. Let's go again. Let's talk to the guards on the see what they say.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to the gate, and it is Bert and Ernie are working again. Sorry, Albert and Ernest.
Well, they work them hard, don't they?
You would assume they're at the end of their shift. They've had the night shift because it was very late at night when you came in, and then it's early morning. You've come now, so this would be the end of the shift. They were just starting when you met them the first time. They will greet you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome back. Okay, you can come in now. Please wear your mask at all times. And he shows you he's got like a face covering, so he's got like a scarf or whatever pulled around his face and tied around his face. I ask you, all of you, to wear a mask and face covering in the town at all times, please. When you go to individual shops, it will be up to the owners of said shops for their own policy, but as you walk around the town in the streets, please, it is the law of the town's policy, that it's a Kingsguard policy, that you wear a mask. There is an infectious plague in the town, and we don't have, like I told you, we don't have the current healing capacity to keep it under control like we normally do. So I ask you all to wear a mask.
We have the prisoners to hand over. Where should we go?
The Kingsguard is just behind us. It's just past the Cozy Raven, and he'll point you a couple of streets along, and he'll show you on the map the Kingsguard is there.
And if we... is there a rat...
Mistress Elise, it's now gone from being disease to being an infectious plague.
Yeah, they've just used different words for it.
No, disease is one thing. Infectious plague is something very much worse in Schninkinook's opinion. I'm unhappy at our employer exposing herself to risk like this.
Bert and Ernie would tell you that this is something that happens in the town every few years from time to time. When the garbage is piling up, the sewer system isn't the best, and sometimes it gets jammed and it gets stuck, and they get build-ups, and there are big colonies of rats growing. They get bigger, and sometimes they get out of control, and a lot of rats come up in the street, spread disease. They have quite a few churches in town, and normally the amount of clerics they have, they can handle it, and it's a cure disease, as you know, like a cure disease will cure something like that, but in certain times they are overstretched, the clerics of the temples in town, and now is one of them.
If this has happened before, then given Mistress Elise has been here umpteen times, then in that case, it's not something new, so I will just leave it up to her. Does she want to go in, or does she want to stay outside?
She says, I'm travelling with 2 clerics. 2 of the people in my employ are clerics, and I'm not worried about catching this disease. It's not a problem. You would cure me. She looks at Darrow and she looks at Eleanor. You'll cure me if I catch this disease, won't you?
Eleanor says yes.
Okay. So no, she's
very good.
She has been through before. She's got private healthcare, exactly. She's got her own private. She's got Bupa. So she's been through here before, and she knows about this. And it's just a time where they have to be cautious. And they have to limit the number of people that move around in certain places, and they wear protection over their faces.
Fair enough.
I was going to ask whether there's a rat catchers guild or something, because it sounds like they might need some help.
There's a rat catcher in town. There's a rat catcher, So, it's the word of Rat Catchers Guild. I'm looking for the place that employs rat catchers and sends rat catchers down, because this is what I'm trying to say. The last 2 rat catchers have gone missing.
Yeah, so it sounds like they need some assistance.
They need a new rat catcher. Yeah, well, like Bert and Ernie said to you, they brought in a famous vermin slayer, a famous dwarven vermin slayer from Rockholm, and he's gone missing recently. And since then, they've not been able to get a new rat catcher, and that's why the problem is particularly bad this time, because they've not got a rat catcher to send down into the sewers.
I'm sure Darrow would want to go and help his dwarven associate, or this famous dwarf that he's heard of at least.
Darrow, you definitely heard of this guy. He's quite a famous vermin slayer.
We've met some pretty big rats ourselves, remember?
Yeah, you have.
They don't scare me.
But we need to go to the sheriff first.
Oh, yes.
We need to go to the Crazy Raven first, then to the sheriff.
I'm catching no rats, boys. None.
Right, well, the Cozy Raven's right at the edge of town, so I'll pop you onto that map first then. I've got a map for it.
Okay, and if Artan is on holiday, boss...
Yes, he is.
We need to speak to Mistress Elise as to what guards she needs with her during the day and at night. I will pass that one to Darrow because he's the overall boss.
Mistress Elise will tell you that she is fine once she gets to the inn. She'll be staying there for the 2 days. As long as you're in, as long as you guys are in town, it's fine. As long as you guys don't piss off somewhere for the 2 days, it's okay. As long as you're around, it's fine. She will be safe there. Yeah, she'll be.
Okay.
She doesn't need your protection while she's in the town. Once she gets to the inn, she'll stay there for 2 days, and she'll give you with a wink, like she often does. She'll say, "I'm safe there. Don't worry." You're getting 2 days off if you don't go anywhere.
Okay. In that case, where is the sheriff's?
So, before we change maps then. So, Kingsguard is here, and it's just 1 street over from the Cozy Raven.
Okay, fine. So,
I think if people are going missing, we should at least one of us should stay here. And if it's a nice place to stay, I'll volunteer.
She say, "Oh, that's very kind of you. You are welcome to. I don't need you to, but you are welcome to."
Although I should stay near Eleonora, because of course I have to guard her, so perhaps she should stay here as well.
I'm just getting everybody together because we've got such a big gang.
hey, the gang's all here.
And I've got a couple more.
There's somewhere we can keep Charlemagne as well.
Now, the first thing...
I was just interested in seeing her in the door and then heading straight to the King's Guard with the prisoners.
Okay. So, I'm just going to reveal the map then.
It's a bit suspicious when a DM wants to know where all the characters are.
So, as you come around, you see a stable boy. That's the first thing you see. I'm just going to open up the the buildings as you come past them. So the first one I've opened up, you see a stable boy. Yeah, a stable man. It's a young man. The front door of the place is here. That's where the front door of the place is.
We aren't parking our carriage yet because we're taking them to the King's Guard.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and move around on the map.
Okay, well, I will tell the stable boy that Mistress Elise is here to stay at the inn. Would he take care of her horses and park her wagon while I escort her inside to see the innkeeper?
Bear with me a moment. Reel that.
Hold on, I'm sorry. And did they say it was okay for me to stable Goliath and put Charlemagne in here?
Well, first of all, Elliot's going to go, whoa, 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 I can't take your horses, guys. I can't take your horses. I'm sorry, I can't. There's only my horse. Here's the place is closed. The inn is closed. This is my horse. I work here. This is my horse. It lives here. I'm only here looking after my horse because I get a free stable here for my horse. The place is closed. The place has been
Why?
closed for 2 weeks. I've not been paid for 2 weeks.
Why is it being closed?
The mistress is sick. The landlady is sick. She's ill. But no one's seen her for 2 weeks. She just shut up the doors and she's not letting anyone in or out. The last person that went in was the cleric.
Darrow!
Has the cleric come out?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about what he did in there. I assume that he was the last person that went in to cure her, but she's never opened up since. She's never been back open again.
Says, let's get rid of the prisoners first.
I guess we should get rid of them before we start sorting out problems here, shouldn't we?
Can we let Darrow go and get rid of those prisoners, and then we'll try and sort this place out when he gets back. It's not far over to the King's Guard.
No problem. King's Guard is here. So, the King's Guard, you find the sheriff. Like I said, the sheriff's name is Anton Fane. He has grey curly hair hanging over a craggy, charming face. A sword has left a mark stretching from the bottom of his right cheekbone, running towards the other eye, ending on the right cheekbone, and leaving an intriguing memory of a former life. You're greeted by a King's Guard who lets you into the office of the sheriff.
We have 2 prisoners who attacked us. They're bandits.
Ah, okay. And you wish to...
Here's another chunk bunch of ears.
And you wish to claim a reward. Okay. So, I understand the reward for bandits on the road is 20 gold pieces. So he'll give you 20 gold for however many ears plus prisoners you have.
Yeah.
So that is 6, right? 120 gold?
We had the 3 adventurers, and how many other bandits did we kill?
Oh, sorry. So 7.
Yeah, that's what I think.
7 plus 2 prisoners, though.
Yeah, so that was
There were
9.
4 adventurers, weren't there?
Yep.
Yeah.
In total. One of them alive and the others not so.
So there was 10 total. 2 got away.
Yeah.
So that's 8.
Yeah, 8 total. So he'll give you 160 gold and say, well, thank you very much for your service, good adventurers. And what's a fine looking group of sellswords doing in a stinking disease-ridden town like this, might I ask?
We're on the way. We're on the way to whatever the capital's called.
Silver Hall.
We're escorting Mistress Elise in her merchant trip north to Silverhall, and escorting Mistress Eleonora on her way to court.
Did you say a Mistress Elise? Is that Elise Miley the trader?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Ah, you're her bodyguards, are you?
Yeah, and
well, this trip-
Artan, who I gather is a local.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yes. Artan is a local boy. Now, I would warn you that being a bodyguard for Mistress Elise will. I mean, and maybe it's not even a warning. Maybe it's a good thing. You'll attract bandits working for her. She's a very wealthy woman who's known up and down this road. She's as known to the bandits as she is to the traders, just like she is with us guards. You probably will find a good side hustle just hunting bandits working for that woman. I hope your guys' swords are sharp.
I think she finds a good side trade in renting us out as well. But be that as it may,
Yes.
I would warn you that one of the prisoners is an adventurer. There were 4 adventurers in league with the bandits. Whether they have anything to do with the wider conspiracy, I don't know.
Oh, don't worry, we've got the most up-to-date, cutting-edge interrogation techniques here. And he pulls a big metal warhammer down off the wall, starts patting the head of it. We'll find out exactly who these guys are and who they work for. Don't you worry about that. And he smiles. He's still got this charming smiley face, but he's patting the head of this big heavy warhammer when he's talking about interrogation techniques.
Darrow does not comment on that.
I wouldn't. I'm not sure you should take much notice of this dwarf that we captured, though. He seems a very unreliable sort.
Stop trying to back up Kiara's chainmail.
Yeah, Darrow might say to one of the others, "I told you it wasn't worth gilding the dying."
I will ask the sheriff if he knows what the situation is with the Cozy Raven.
Okay, 2 seconds. You're going to ask the sheriff what he knows about the Cozy Raven. He's going to tell you it's been closed for 2 weeks and he knows nothing more than that.
We were told a priest went into it. Does anyone know whether that priest came out? I would imagine a priest going missing in town would be something concerning.
You would need to ask at the church. Are any of you clerics by any chance? None of you are clerics, are you?
Few of us are.
Oh, well, you should go and ask at the church because they're going to want to speak to you if you guys are clerics. You know, we have a disease problem in this town and you could maybe help.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, because since you're sheriff and we have like a staying anywhere problem, do you think that maybe there's any way you could like tell someone it's okay for us to like maybe stable where animals or something?
I mean, there are other inns in the town. You could try somewhere else. It's possible we might have space here in the Kingsguard for your animals. I mean, you guys you've came in here with bandits. You're good people. You are, upholders of the law. In fact, you've enforced the law for us. We would do that as a favour for you while you're here in town. How long are you're here with Elise, right? You'll be here for a couple of days, right? Yeah. Your horses can stay in our stables. That is not a problem.
Not just the horse.
We've got a bear too.
Excuse me? A bear?
He's
Yes,
he's
kind of big tall thing,
than yours.
fur, claws, quite common above ground, I understand.
Is he tame?
Stinky Nook is definitely looking a little bit...
Is he?
I don't really think so.
He's trained. He's trained.
He's safe to be stabled. You would chain him. You would chain him up anyway, right?
No, I wouldn't chain him up. No, he's trained enough that he would stay in a stable and he'll be with like me during the day most of the time.
Okay, I'd perhaps ask if you're gonna have a bear. Maybe that one of you sticks around. If there's going to be a bear in our stables, I think maybe one of you needs to stay with the bear.
I'll stay with the bear, or is there a piece of land somewhere that me and the bear can stay on?
No, we do have a little bit of, we have a little bit of yard space where we do combat training and drills and exercises. Yeah, in fact, there's a shed out there. There's a tool shed out there. I guess the bear could sleep there if it's safe. If you think the bear is safe, if he's away from the horses, yeah, the bear can. Yeah, there's a tool shed out there. The bear can sleep in there.
Perfect. Thank you.
So there you go. Just you've got a place to stable your horses and a place for the bear to stay.
Right, where's this church and where are the other inns?
Okay, so the Platinum Gorgon is the expensive bar. The Amber Retreat is the one with the view overlooking the waterfall. Bella's Bar is the Ruffy pub. The church, I've not actually marked on the map. There would be a few churches in town. I've not actually marked them in any particular spot. I can if we need to. But let's say there's one in or around the market district. There's one in and around the Unicorn Village, which is the posher end of town. And there's probably one more somewhere along the river.
Right. Will be, I would say it's finding somewhere for us to stay, because you do all of those places have places to stay?
The Amber Retreat has places to stay. Let me just double check what I've written here. So Narazir, we've got the Cozy Raven is an inn. The Amber Respite is an inn, yes. Oh, I've wrote Amber Respite here and then Amber Retreat there. Never mind. But yes, this one is an inn and tavern. The one that overlooks the waterfall.
Right.
Now, I'm going to have to take a quick bathroom break, guys. Can you bear with me 2 minutes?
Right, yeah. What do you want? Should we have a 5-minute break?
Aye, we're a little bit early for it, but if it suits everybody, we could have our 5-minute break now. Is it too early for you, Tammy, or could you do the break now?
No, I was back at school, so he was in bed super early.
Right, we'll do You've dropped off the prisoners. You've collected your reward. You want to go to the Amber Respite to get a room?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Amber Respite. You walk through town, you notice, let's say that one of the churches is here. You notice there's a queue of people outside the church. A queue of sickly looking people. And then you see the door opens and they let one person in and one person comes out a side door. And it's a big queue of sickly people, but the person that's coming out the other side, you see them looking great. So obviously, as they're going in, they're getting cured. There just is limited resources to this. But the queue outside of people looks very long. In fact, they look to have sleeping bags with them. And big bags of stuff, like it's quite obviously been there for days. That was a church that was here, so you come past that and then you get to the Amber Respite. The Amber Respite is a timber-framed cabin with white shingled roof and a koi pond outside. It contains a deck with chairs and a fire pit, cooking food in the middle of the tavern, and the upstairs balcony overlooks the waterfall. You can see I've got a couple of specials on the menu there. There are rooms available.
Guys, this place sounds nice.
It's owned by a male halfling named Ulbelin Appleblossom, a red-haired and rosy-cheeked little halfling who is jovial-natured and kind. Is known in the town as a kind, generous, fun, good person. Everybody loves him. His bar is very popular, and his rooms are popular with travellers.
Does he have room?
He will tell you he has one room.
Dibs.
I suppose Mistress Elise ought to have
Mistress
the room.
Elise ought to have it, Kiara.
Mistress Elise looks at you all and says, yes, that will be my room for the next 2 days. So after 2 days, meet me at breakfast time. So you've got 2 full days and 2 nights. She wants you to meet you on the 3rd morning. Meet me at breakfast time, we leave.
Might I suggest we go to the temple and see what the situation is? Whether they are missing a priest?
Now, are you all wearing your masks?
Yes.
Good.
Oh,
I've got I imagined I would have like a nice like scarf or like a velvet material something on that I would probably just wrap around my head.
Okay. Did you not buy something like stuff like that at some point?
Yeah, I bought some nice fancy clothes,
Yeah.
and I got changed into fancy clothes after I had been cursed.
After you flashed those priests. Okay, so that you're visiting this church. This is the one you came past on the way by. You saw a big queue of people sitting outside, and then
we'll be going to a good church if we knew of any differences, but I suspect they're all goodish.
it's a multi-theistic church, a generic church where people go to worship all gods.
Right, okay.
It will have the clerics that work there will have their own kind of like. Some of them might have their favoured gods, but they'll all will generally be good clerics because it's anywhere in a town in a civilized place. It's like a general place. They're all going to be good clerics, yeah. So in all three of the churches in town, that'll be the case.
So we'll go to the nearest church then.
Okay. What do you want to do there? You want to talk to the people outside, or you want to try and get in and talk to the clerics there, or?
We'll try and talk to the clerics, and two of us will be introducing ourselves as priests.
Okay, so, well, to get to the front door of the church, you walk past a long line of sorry, sick, ill-looking people. They're coughing. Some of them, you may even notice they're coughing up a little bit of blood. Some of them look so still and so sickly that if their eyes weren't open, you might think they were dead. There's a horrible smell about the people and about the place. You notice that there's kind of a smell around the town in general, like a sewagey smell and a smell of disease and rot, and these people have a smell of disease and rot about them as well.
Yeah.
You go past a long line, let's say at least 30, 40 people before you get to the front door of the church.
Well, we may come back for the worst looking ones, but we'll speak to the priests first.
All right.
Of course, if we were down below in the Underdark, I'd have guessed it was probably drow spreading this disease. But I don't know what happens up here.
So what are you doing? You're pushing past the queue of people?
I wouldn't say pushing. I'm gonna. I don't really want to be too close to anybody.
Right, okay, so you're taking a wide berth past the queue of people to go round to the front door.
Yeah.
I don't want to experience that again.
Okay, so you knock on the door, or?
Yeah.
Because the door's closed. Right, you knock on the door, somebody opens a little hatch and says, just wait like everybody else. We can only do so many a day.
We're healers.
You're what? You're healers? And like, so some eyes, like, let's say like another little notch opens in the door so he can see further out, and he starts looking down and looks up and down you and says, and which god are you cleric of?
Barak.
That a dwarven god, is it?
Yes.
Show me
yes.
a holy symbol.
I show it, and I look, little smile towards Eleonora.
Oh, really? And so Eleonora gives you not quite a smile, but she certainly gives you a look back. So the man at the door says, okay. Just prove it to me. Can you cure a disease on one of these people here for me, please? One of these people outside, the first one there. Can you cure disease here? Show me.
I can do it just the one, and I think that one looked the most seriously ill.
So the one that's right at the door, the one that's next, does in fact look like they are on death's doorstep. So that would be a good choice.
So cure disease.
So you cast cure disease on this person. You instantly see their face, the colour return to their face, their back straighten up, their cheeks fill back out, their eyes go from a sickly yellow back to a white, and you see the disease flushing out of their body right in front of you, like as if you cast a magic divine spell on them. Because you did. So the man behind the shutters in the door, he looks on and, oh, you're a gift from the gods. Please, come in, good sir. Please come in. And he opens the door a crack, just enough to let you in.
And my companion.
He looks, how many are you?
How many people came along?
Well, you're
Here, I'll stay outside.
Eleanor's back at. Um,
I would
I'm
say
with you. I'm with you, Darrow, because I'm trying to find out what's happened to this cleric at the Cozy Raven.
I would,
Yeah,
I would stay with
Eleanor. Eleanor and Elise. I think we're having a confusion again.
yeah,
Eleanor is the cleric. She'll have come
yeah.
with.
Eleanor is with you. Elise is in that is in the Amber Respite. Elise is there now. Ralph, he is with the horses. Let's say.
Yep.
Because he's your driver. He's with the horses. So it's just the party, including Eleanor.
Yeah.
And Charlemagne. He's still here at this point?
Did we bring him or did we leave him at the yard place?
They weren't willing for him to stay there unless there was somebody with him. So we.
Didn't
Well,
they say
but Ralph stayed. Ralph stayed, and then also I think they said no to him being stabled with the horses, but I think they had said that it was okay for him to stay in the
In the
yard.
tool shed
because it was a
outside,
tool
yeah.
shed,
Yeah.
And Ralph did stay behind, so that would be good enough for them. They trust you.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So
So whoever's along, if we can head into the temple.
So there's 5 of you. And how many of you are healers?
The 2 of us, and I've done my curing of disease for the day now.
Right, come in, the 5 of you, quick, and close the door, hurry up. So they open the door just a crack, and they're hustling you in, pulling you in one at a time. Like, who's last in? Who's at the back of the group?
Well, not Darrow, because he obviously...
It would probably be Darrow, Elise, Eleonora, and then me or Adam Ancard at the back.
Who's at the back? Pick.
Well, I'll be at the back
I'll
then.
go.
Okay, roll a d20 and a macar. Somebody's grabbing at you. This is to dexterity out of the way.
Oh, that fails against my dexterity.
So somebody grabs a hold of you as the door gets pulled shut, and you're left outside. Your 4 companions get in, and you're pulled out by somebody. And the door slams shut.
I've got to get our companion in.
They've got a bar down on the door now. Oh, are you serious?
Lift it up. Okay, I might be reaching up to my full height to push it up.
And
I'm
Macar,
lifting the bar up.
at this point, the person that grabbed you screaming, "Take me with you, please! I have a family!" And it's a young woman. "I have children, please take me with you, cure me."
There's nothing I can do. I have no healing magics.
The door behind you is open a crack just to let you in, but this woman's still holding on to you. What are you going to do?
Punch in the face.
I guess I'll have to gently disengage her if I can.
Gently disengage, right? Roll to gently disengage. What are you going to do?
Was she one of the most ill or not?
She doesn't look like one of the most ill, no.
Yeah, I'll try executing some sort of kind of an acrobatic move, kind of a twist and a turn and a.
You've got tumbling proficiency, don't you?
Yes.
Roll on that, then we'll say it's like a duck and roll out of the way.
I'll just roll a d20 and then we can look it up.
Yep.
That'll be easiest.
So it's a duck and roll to go through the door.
Just about, I think that should just about do because it's against Dex.
Yeah. Well, have a look at your Dex then. I want to know.
Right. I think it's 18. I believe.
This is to evade her grasp and roll through the door. I think you have got an 18 Dex.
I think it's 8. Yes, it's 18.
Nice.
So the 19 failed before, but 15 just about makes it.
So you make it in, and the door of the church shuts behind you.
Are we all here? I think we are.
I think everybody's ready. Yeah.
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 So you arrive.
So we got let into the temple.
Yeah. You got in. Andy McCarr didn't get in at first. The door was shut. Someone tried to wrestle with him, pull him back out. "Take me in with you." But then he managed to dodge out their way, and the door was open just long enough for him to roll back in. And the door's closed behind him. So you're all in now. You see a cleric over in the corner casting a spell on somebody, and you see a bunch of people in beds being treated by the equivalent of nurses, not clerics casting spells, but other members of the church, people that work there, nursing them, giving them medical care.
Yeah.
And there's a guy over in the corner on an altar, and he's doing a rite on a guy to give him the cure disease. If you stick around, you'll see him getting ushered out again. So you're greeted by a group of clerics and people from the town all wearing masks. None of them looking very happy to be there.
Yeah.
Seem maybe a little bit more happy now that you said that you're a cleric and you showed you can cure disease. They say, "Oh, thank you so much for coming to help us. Please do whatever you can. How many more can we bring in? We have one left for the day. When he's finished, we have one more, and that's him. And then they're going to bang on that door all day. If you can do one or two more for us, it's going to make such a big difference."
Well, I look at Eleonora.
How many does she have? One.
Level 1.
So it might be worth keeping one until later in case we need it.
So how many can you do between you?
Hold on.
Or how many are you willing to do?
Is she giving her answer?
Eleonora's willing to do whatever you ask her to do. She'll use all her spells, so all her slots to cast cure disease on these people if that's what's required
She's
of her.
only got 3rd level spell.
She's only got one, so she can do one.
Yeah.
So you would. So they'll say, "Let one in, let another one in."
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
It's a matter of whether if we go and investigate where the disease is coming. Well, there's 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
Do you know, or do you? There was a store. Are you in touch with the other temples in town?
Yes.
You keep in touch with
Yes.
each other.
Yes. None of them are any more better provisioned than we are. It's the same story in the other 2.
We went into we failed to get.
There is a tale that a cleric went into the Cozy Raven 2 weeks ago to treat the landlady. Did whoever the cleric was come out again, or has it disappeared? Have they disappeared?
It wasn't someone local. We heard this too, and it wasn't anyone from any. There's no missing clerics from any of the 3 churches in town, so we don't know who that is. We heard that too, but we don't know who that is. Maybe she had private health care.
In which case, it would be a visitor that came in from out of town, I presume.
Like possibly one of the ones we met on the road up here?
That's what we presume. We presume it's someone from out of town.
It's just we encountered a cleric on the way here with a group of bandits.
A cleric with a group of bandits?
Yeah, she was not a good one.
Oh, an evil cleric.
Yeah, they ambushed us.
And what happened with them? Did you fight with them? Obviously,
Yeah,
they didn't.
What their dwarf is
now a prisoner of the sheriff.
It's helping the police with their inquiries.
Oh, so you brought them to the town? You brought them to the sheriff in town?
He brought the 2 survivors.
So you really are heroes. Tell me, what are your names, heroes?
Well, this is the great Darrow. He's already known far and wide as a hero.
I'm Darrow Greataxe.
And you?
This is the Lady Kiara, and the Lady Eleonora, also a priestess of Barakthram, as you probably already know. And this is Andamakar, a blade singer of the Elven Line. I'm merely a scout from the Underdark.
The cleric, who's quite a good-looking young man, actually, looks at Kiara and says, "And does the young lady have a voice, or just a name?"
I do have a voice when I get the chance.
And what a beautiful one it is. What a pleasure it is to meet you and all your friends. Thank you so much for coming to our town to help us.
Thank you.
So you brought bandits to justice, an evil cleric, and you come in here and you're gonna use your clerical magic to cure our people. What a wondrous group of heroes you really are. Young lady, if it was different circumstances, I'd love to take you out and buy you a dinner. Buy you a nice meal. Unfortunately, I can't leave this place. We're too busy all day, every day. We're in here curing the sick. But thank you so much for being here. You people are wonderful. It's a pleasure to meet all of you.
Thank you. Yous are heroes.
He wipes sweat away from his brow, shuffles his mask around his face and says, "No, you're the heroes."
So there's heroes and heroes.
So can we let one in then?
Well, it depends whether we need to go to investigate where the source of this is coming from.
The source of
Why?
this is the sewers. There's not been a rat catcher in town for weeks. The last 2 rat catchers went missing. That's what the problem is. No one wants to go kill the rats.
Yes, that's what we were going to investigate, whether we can help with the rat problem.
Oh, now she looks at your sword, and he looks at your sword as you mentioned going to investigate the rat problem and says, "You really are the all-round heroes, aren't you? You are the saviours of this town, aren't you? I can see it now. Wow, this is amazing. What an honour to meet you. The gods truly have brought you here."
Because if we're going to investigate the rats, then we may need to reserve the spell.
Oh, so perhaps your magic could be used elsewhere. Okay, I understand.
Yes, but if by the evening Mistress Eleonora hasn't needed it, I'm sure she'll be happy to come back.
Well, I mean, if you can be of great use elsewhere, then I mean, Daru, you've already cured one of these people. You've helped someone today already, and you've brought these people justice. It's not for me to tell you what to do and where to use your magic. You've come to this town and you can do whatever you want to help us. If you can deal with our pest problem, if you can curb the disease from its source, that would be a much better use of your resources.
Well, who would be able to advise us on where this source might be?
It's the sewers. We know the source is the sewers. We know it's rats from the sewers, disease from rats from the sewers. And they get bigger and they get bolder and they come up. And they come into the town and they spread disease. They come and they eat garbage and they spread disease in the town. And this is where we are today. It's happened before. This is the worst one in decades.
What size are these rats?
Oh, pretty big rats. I mean, down in the sewers, probably bigger than the ones you would see up here in the town. Big rats, giant rats. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a proper vermin slayer's problem. It's a real rat problem. It's not for your standard rat catcher. It takes a specialist.
I hear that the specialist was engaged, but he's not been heard of.
They hired a specialist from out of town, a dwarf, a famous rat killer, a famous vermin slayer, and he was never seen again. Must be pretty serious down there.
Who hired him?
I suppose the mayor.
We should speak to the mayor later.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yeah.
We have a history of speaking to mayors and being listened to.
I mean, I'm sure everybody takes you serious. I'm taking you very serious. Look at you guys. I'm sure if anyone can get an audience with the mayor at this time, I'm sure it would be you. But like I say, good luck.
Well, I suggest we go back and talk to the sheriff. We need authorization to go into the Cozy Raven and find the truth of this priest.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything you're doing for this town and everything you've done already. Right, get ready to open the door. And he calls over to some
The
people
side
at the door.
door. We go out the side door.
Yep, the exit door. So they'll wait for a few minutes until the ritual's ready when they're casting the cure disease, the current one, and they'll just pop you out at the same time as that person. And you notice there's people at the side door as well, where there's people coming out, and there's a big rush, and they're having to fight back the crowd when they do that as well, because people are trying to get in. Even at that door, they know that it's the outdoor, but people are trying to get in there as well. So it's a mad rush for you all to get out.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we should go and find the enchanter first.
1 second.
Eager as I am to solve this problem,
Okay,
I think
well,
perhaps we should at least go and see the enchanter before we press on.
Okay.
I'm just saying now, boys. I do not want
Bless
to
you.
go rat hunting. I'm just getting that out there. So if you guys are going to go kill some rats, I'll just chill up here.
Yeah. Taking the
Sure,
tail off.
Charlemagne would love to kill some rats.
Oh, for sure.
Well, we'll see where. Let's say we'll see. So do we get directions to the enchanter?
Yeah, so the enchanter's shop is called the Amber Oracle, and it's in the richer side of town, the Unicorns Village.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would get that. The guys at the church will give the directions to that. That's over there, on the west side of town. Well, it's the north side of town, actually, because I guess the north side of town is the richer side of town, the south side is the poorer. Excuse me.
Right. So we head over that way.
Okay. So as you walk through the town and get to the more affluent part of town, you notice less and less garbage in the streets, like it's better cleaned up. Less and less kind of sick people mulling around in the streets. You notice a lot of the shops are closed though. A lot of, like, not like the basic shops. So your butchers and your bakers and all these guys, these are on the poorer side of town and they were all open. But as you get to, your silk shops and your soap shops and your fancier things, spice shops, you notice that they've all got closed signs
Spice
up.
shops.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, but you notice they all have
They must be
closed
seen from down below.
closed signs up on most of these shops. But anyway, you get to into the nice part of town. It's called the Unicorns Village. There's a statue of a unicorn in the centre of town, in the centre of the area of town. Statue about 16 feet tall, big, massive unicorn statue, Tammy.
Yeah.
I am quite interested now.
The Amber Oracle is right on the town square. So the town square's there. The Amber Oracle is right there. So it's right outside the big statue. The big unicorn statue is right outside the place where you're going.
Let's go then, guys. Come on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the Amber Oracle is not open, but a man comes to a hatch. Let me just grab the man's name. So, a man... Ooh, have I got a description for him? Nah, I don't have a description for him. So he's a nondescript man, the owner of the Amber Oracle. Comes to a shutter at the front door. It says, we're taking orders only. We're closed for general business. What do you need?
Need to have
Well,
some
I'll-
items identified.
What kind of items?
We don't know that we need you to identify them.
You mean like magical weapons and things?
Magical weapons.
Yeah, they look very
okay.
exciting.
How many?
I think we have 8 items.
Okay, it's double money. It's a pandemic.
How much would that be?
1,600 gold pieces, 200 per item. Come back in 24 hours to collect.
Okay.
Look at the party. Do we want to do that or hold on to them to the next town? What do you think?
We could just get the ones identified that we think will be most useful to us.
Which are?
Let's just leave them
No.
here. Like we've got like 2 days. What difference is it going to make?
We've got
Are we just going to end up? We're just going to end up carrying them around.
Yeah, we have 7,000 cash in hand. Let's leave them and get them identified, and then we can be off and sort everything else out.
Have you got a quick list of what they are, David?
Yep.
The people are
the
prepared.
stuff with the skull.
Sorry, Peter, quickly, just before we do that, Peter, what were you saying?
Because we're paying double.
Yeah, that's Peter's gripe, Tammy. We're paying double. You're paying double. The standard rate of identify is 100 gold pieces an item. This guy's trying to charge you 200 gold pieces.
Well,
about
let's
150.
do it. It's pandemic prices.
Well,
Plague
100,
prices.
150.
You're gonna
How about a bulk rate for 150 for 8 items?
for a bulk rate for 8 items. 1,200.
Sounds fairer.
Alright, what have you got? Tell me what you've got, what kind of items it is. I'll think about it.
There's staff, a wand, 2 rings, a morning star, warhammer, some plate mail, and a holy symbol.
1,200, okay. Alright, okay, come back in 24 hours.
Because there's some of it, the plate we're not going to be using. Is this the place to identify armor or the armor smiths?
It's magic, so you can identify it.
Peter's a cheapskate though. I mean, sorry, Darrow's a cheapskate.
Yeah, we're getting a bulk rate.
Yeah, but Adamancar's managed to get you a 400 discount, so you're paying...
I'll put in your like half your thing if it stops you grumping.
It's coming from party funds.
It's up to you guys.
Yep.
Alright, so you drop
Relax, Darrow.
So you drop off the 8 items, so let's quickly go on what they were then. So they were a staff.
The staff with the skull.
Yep.
The wand with the teardrop.
Yep.
The ring with the red blood drop gem.
Yep.
And the ring with the 3 gem eyes.
Yep.
There's the magic morning star.
Yep.
The
A warhammer.
fancy warhammer.
Yep.
The fancy plate mail.
Yep.
There's the holy symbol.
Excellent. Right, I know what all they are. I just wanted a reminder for the VOD. Thank you. So you drop them off and you have to get them in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Alright, next order of business. The guy slams the thing shut.
Oh, I guess the mayor. Or unless you want... Well, mayor first.
I'd say
People
sheriff
thought we
first.
needed to speak to the sheriff in order to speak to the mayor.
Okay, I don't know how things are done in your human realm. Well, not that you're a human either, but you know what I mean.
Or someone said speak to the sheriff to speak to the mayor.
Someone
Who
no,
was
at
that?
the church they said good luck trying to speak to the mayor.
Yeah. Well, if you remember, in the last town we sorted things out. The sheriff was organising things. I generally find the military authorities are better at dealing with this sort of thing.
It has been the case in most towns you've been in, hasn't it?
In that case, we may want to head back towards the sheriff.
So you're gonna go back down the Kingsguard, okay? So you as you leave this end of town, the streets get dirtier, the people get sicker. Less and less people in the poorer side of town are wearing the masks, and more of the shops are open. The Kingsguard's right near the market, right the busy poor end of town. You go in again? You're welcomed in. Shown again to the office of the sheriff. Give me 1 second to remind myself the name again.
Wiping blood off his interrogation aid.
Anton Fane. You notice that the aid isn't on the wall anymore, it's gone. He's in his office. The aid must be with someone else. You're sure you can hear screams in the background somewhere?
Well, there's 2 places we're thinking of going, and we might need permission.
Uh-huh.
You or the mayor.
Of course.
One
No,
of them,
I'm the sheriff. Sorry.
say from him or the mayor.
Yeah.
One of them was to try to find the source of this disease, but we're not all convinced that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can tell you what the source of the disease is. There's not been a rat catcher in town for 2 weeks, and the sewers are disgusting.
How many rat catchers have disappeared in past events like this?
2. We had the same rat catcher for years. We've had the same rat catcher for years and years and years.
So, in previous years, how many rat catchers disappeared?
This-
None.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. This is
Right.
It's the first time in a
Now
long time.
You've now had 2 rat catchers disappear.
Yes.
We also have plots from bandits all over the kingdom.
Yes.
Is there any?
Do you see a pattern?
Between the rats and the bandits, no. Do you?
Yes.
And
But then I'm used to dealing with drow.
then we've got at the cozy. We had been expecting people staying at the Cozy Raven, and there was this story of the cleric going in, supposedly to cure the landlady.
An unknown cleric, apparently, yes. And she's not open. She's not reopened the place. It's remained closed.
I have a theory. I have a theory about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what if the cleric that went in and the stable boy who thought was healing her was one of the guys that we just killed? And what if she was the person who died? And what if that's whose chainmail have got? And that's why they didn't see a cleric leaving. They don't know who the cleric was in the town. And the woman's never opened back up again because she's
It's
dead.
unlikely to be her chainmail, miss, says the gnome looking up at you.
What race?
Because the landlady is a gnome.
Yeah.
Oh, is she? Okay. Sorry.
No, it was an amazing theory, Tammy. You missed that one detail that David picked up. Yeah.
Crucial detail, yeah.
Yeah. Crucial detail. She was a gnome.
Yes.
Was-
Why do you think that Schninkynook was keen to go to that inn?
Hey.
He'd heard that the landlady was a gnome.
Oh,
Greater chance of
okay.
gnome delicacies.
If she'd been an elf or a half elf, Tammy, you just solved it.
Yep.
But
The whole time I thought I was on it, like.
no.
I've got it.
Did they know what this foreign cleric looked like?
He was a holy man in robes. He looked the same as the rest of them. I think he had a bald head. I don't know if he was just because he was an old man or that was the style of his church, but
He was a man. We've established that.
it was a man, a human man. Yeah, I mean that's what everyone says. I mean it was a private thing. It wasn't anyone from around here, so no one knows him. But yeah,
Did
it
he
was.
say that he was there to heal her?
Well,
Or did he just tell people he was here to heal her?
well, that's what he came to town for. This is what I hear. I don't know the man.
Did she say that? Or did he say that?
That's what he said.
So nobody knows whether that's true or not.
No, but she's a private woman and our inn is closed, so we leave her in peace. She's probably just leaving the place closed until this disease blows over. So we don't bother her.
And she hasn't paid her stableman for 2 weeks?
Oh, that I didn't know. He's never complained to any government official. It's never been brought to my attention about someone not paying their employees. It seems strange that he wouldn't mention it. You spoke to the man?
I give a description.
Well, the mayor will say, well, I don't know who... I mean, I know the gnome... I forget her name, I'll get her in a second. I know her very well, but I can't say that I know the man who works in her stables, so... Although...
One of the constables should know, because they patrol the streets, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I could ask the men. Now, if you bear with me a second, I'll just get the name of that gnome lady again. So her name was Loop Mutton Wild Wonder. So I know Loop Mutton well. She's known in town, but I couldn't tell the name of the man who's. But yeah, I mean, ask some of the guards around town. I mean, right now there's only me in the office, and I've got my interrogation aid in with one of the officers in the cells through there just now. But then the other guards you'll see in the town, either on the streets or on the gates. There are being 2 gates in the town, one here.
Well, I suggest we just go and ask the guards on the gate, because if this is the closest gate to the Cozy Raven, they're most likely to know the ostler.
The gate where you came in is right outside. The Cozy Raven is right inside the gate where you came in. So yes, so that is logical. They would know the man. So you want to head there?
Yep, let's go and ask the guards there.
Everyone in agreement?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So you come to the.
Kiara,
Yes. Yeah.
do you want to try and ask them, because you're more likely to be able to get an answer?
Yeah, I suppose so. Just asking them if right. Just tell me exactly what you.
First of all, can they describe the guy who came in saying he was a cleric? And secondly, do they know the ostler at the Cozy Raven? Because we saw somebody who said he was the ostler, but then the sheriff said that he was surprised that if he wasn't being paid, he didn't come and complain about it. So it may be there's something going on at the Cozy Raven, and that guy's just there to dissuade people from trying to get in.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, I was just writing down the name of a couple more guards, because the guard shift will have changed when you go to the same gate. It's the same gate, but it's going to be different guys. So just writing down a couple of names. A couple of middle-aged guys this time called Alf and Hank. So one of them, let's say Hank, would say, "Good morning, fair adventurers. I see you're wearing your masks. Sorry to have to impose these rules on you, but this is just the time we're in."
Normally, I'd get in trouble wandering around a town hiding my face. People would find it suspicious, but never mind.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's rude of us to ask, I know, and it's intrusive, but it really is for the safety of everyone moving around in the town. It's an infectious disease, and we don't want people spreading it any more than could be prevented.
Well, we've just been speaking to Sheriff. Hold on whilst I look up the name.
Anton
Fane.
Anton Fane.
Yes, we've just been speaking to Sheriff Fane. Because the merchant who we escorted is used to staying at the Cozy Raven.
Ah, and yet it's closed.
Yet it's closed. And when we tried to do there, the ostler told us that he was just staying there with his horse, but he'd not been paid. And Sheriff Fane was surprised that he and the guards wouldn't have heard him complaining about not being paid already.
I mean, we know Elliot. Elliot, the stable guy over there, we know him well. And he's never... I mean, we see him every day going in and out. We know the place is closed, but his horse stays there. Elliot has his own horse. And I think the only reason that the man can afford to keep a horse is because he has free stabling where he works. So that's why he's in and out there every day. But he's never mentioned anything to us about, if he's getting paid while the place is closed. He's never mentioned any of that to anyone. Not to me, not to any of the guys that I speak to, which would be all the guards in town, because there's not many of us. There's a dozen of us in total. It's not been mentioned between us anyway.
Guys, I don't feel like it's as sketchy as we think it is over there, because nobody in the town's overly concerned about it. And I did think when we were talking about why he wouldn't have mentioned getting paid, and he said that he was happy because it was just him and his horse staying there, and he was only staying there to care for the horse.
No, he doesn't.
So I felt like it was taking care of itself.
He doesn't stay there. He means what he meant is that his horse gets to stay there. He owns a horse and he gets free stabling there. And you know, to have your horse stabled somewhere if you don't own the property to do it yourself costs you a lot of money. So that's why he's there, because his horse lived there, but there was no other horses there and the place is closed. But he just managed to, yeah, the place has been closed for a couple of weeks and I've not been paid for a couple of weeks. I'm just here because my horse is here.
Just describe the guy we saw.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like him, does it, to the guards?
So yeah, you give him a description. I mean, even a generic description would be good enough because they know the man well and say, yeah, that's Elliot, that's him. Yeah, we know Elliot. He's a nice man.
Yeah.
He's never mentioned anything about not being paid. That surprises me because I do see him still there every day. I know he has his horse there, but it's strange. It's strange that he would tell you that he's not being paid for the time that they're closed. It's confusing. It's confusing. That's upsetting. Elliot's a good man. I wouldn't like to think that Luke Martin over there at the Cozy Raven was not giving the man his due. I mean,
but there's this peculiar thing where this priest, cleric, supposedly came to kill her. The place has remained shut.
That's right. Yeah, but we're not suspicious about that because many places are closed at the moment. A lot of people just choose to close their business down in this time, and are just trying to wait it out until the clerics can catch up with the healing of the people, and until this blows over a little bit, and until hopefully maybe someday we can get another rat catcher, or I don't know, we recruit enough guards into the King's Guard that the King's Guard can become rat catchers for the day, or whatever we need to do. We're just kind of trying to wait it out. We don't know what the exact plan is. We don't get the best announcements from the mayor. He's very vague when he does speak out, and it's no one really knows when anything's happening or what's happening. Some things are closing, some things is opening. It's a shit show. The whole thing is a shit show. But yeah, it's surprising that, I mean, Luke Martin's wealthy. The place is busy. It's surprising that she's not paying her employees in this time that she's remaining closed. That does surprise me.
Which is why we'd like the authority to investigate, because we've been involved in this conspiracy to destabilise the kingdom in terms of destroying it. I personally think that this is part of it.
What kind of permission do you need?
Authorisation to go into the Cozy Raven and check and see how things are there.
Oh, you mean to force entry and look around?
If need be.
If need be. If it's for the good of the kingdom, of course, yes, absolutely. I understand that what it takes to investigate something like this, you may need to have a look around. No one has heard from her. Perhaps everything's not all well in there. I mean, yeah, you absolutely have authority to go and look around. We've heard of you already. You're the men that came in last night, and we've let you in this morning. You brought in prisoners who are known bandits, known highwaymen, and you've been at the church already, and you know the word has travelled around town fast about who you are and what you're doing here. Yeah, you've got full permission to go up there. Absolutely, you can take it from me. I'm a senior in the King's Guard here. I'm a senior officer, so you can take my permission as law.
So which Sesame Street Muppet was this?
Bert and Ernie. No, this isn't Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie were the guards last night and this morning. First thing this morning. These are just two other guards. These are not named after anyone funny.
Hank
and Alf
Hank,
and Hank.
Hank and Alf. Yeah, they weren't named after TV characters though. They're just two very simple short names that I came up with fast. Alf and Hank. Couple of middle-aged guys, average looking Kingsguard looking guys, look like they're quite strong, could beat your average guy in a fight, can swing a sword around.
Do we have someone who's good at gaining entry to premises that are perhaps locked?
Well, Stinkerhook keeps reminding us that he's not that kind of thief, don't you? But that's what every thief in Dungeons & Dragons says.
Yeah. But if you're not stealing something,
It's scouting.
It's an authorised entry without causing damage to the doors in the process.
Everyone that plays a thief in Dungeons & Dragons says they're not that kind of thief.
Sneaky Nook is.
Yeah, just like everybody else, eh?
I may have been given a little bit of training.
Do you want to go up just now to have a look around?
I think we ought to.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Strike while the iron's hot and all that.
Okay, I'll change maps then. So,
Just leave the carriages, aren't there?
yep, so you're stabled. You're away. You're away. Ralph's away. This is who we have, right?
We have the bear with us, so
No.
we don't have
You don't have the bear and you don't have Tammy's
No,
horse.
he's not here.
I think it might not be ideal indoors in an inn.
So that's the group. The 5. No bear, no horse, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to, if you want to look in windows or whatever, or look in doors or whatever, I will then reveal map per door per window.
Yeah, so the first thing is you probably go and see if the ostler's there,
Elliot.
Elliot.
Yep, he is there.
How many stories on this inn, by the way?
2. Upstairs is, I forget her name again, that mad dwarf gnome name. Upstairs is her house, and the rest, the whole of the downstairs is the inn. There's there'd be a cellar as well, no doubt. Sorry, there'd be a wine cellar, like a cellar where they keep all the stuff.
Well, perhaps we should warn the ostler that we're going to investigate, purely for the sake of the safety of his mistress.
Well, we're concerned the fact that she's not even come out to pay him.
He's not working. He's not actually working, but he's.
Why, guys? Why are we so bothered though? Like, he's not bothered? It wasn't really our business. Are we just going to check she's okay, or are we trying to get involved in their business?
We're going to ask him if he's seen her at all or anything.
First of all, the saying of not getting paid would maybe be a bit misleading. He's saying he's not worked for 2 weeks, really. So it's kind of misleading. I guess I need to retract a little bit and say it's not really a case of he's not getting paid because he's not able to work. Do you know what I mean? His work isn't open, and he's not been able to see his boss. He's only here to stable his horse. It's not a case.
Oh, so she's closed. She's closed.
The place is
just now, so
closed, yeah.
She's been making her call money. Yeah. I'm just wondering, are we going to try and check to see if this little gnome lady's okay? Or are we going, because I'm on board for checking she's all right, but I just want to make sure that we're maybe not going to get stuck in somebody else's business again.
Well, we'll make sure that
Not
she's okay.
looking
That's
at
the
anybody.
important thing, isn't it?
Well, I'm concerned for her health.
Indeed.
Yeah, a little bit too, Sninkanook. I'll check. I don't mind checking for that. I was just making sure.
She's the first gnome I've met on the surface.
Did not met her yet.
I haven't.
I
met
hope
him
she's
yet.
nice
You missed them all.
So we
and alive.
You missed them all.
need to ask the ostler if he's seen any sign of her. Or it's a bit odd, this person supposedly arriving to cure her, and she's not up and about.
Yeah. So you want to talk to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Did she tell him she was closing the place?
Elliot. Yeah. Well. Yeah. She came out when I was here when the priest came. A priest came to heal her. She says, I'm closing the place until this all blows over, and I've got my own private medical care, and I don't want bothered. And when this is sorted out, you can come back to work. And I've just been here stabling my horse, not able to get paid because she's not able to open the place. And I've never seen sight of her since. The curtains are.
How long is it?
It's been a couple of weeks. It's been 3 weeks, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks.
Are there any supplies arriving to, supplies of food for her, or do you think she just has a full cellar that she can eat from?
I know she's got a massive cellar. I know that she's not starving in there for months and months. I know she could lock herself up there probably for a year if she wanted to and be all right. I'm not concerned that she's lacking anything in there. I know that she's got everything she needs in there. That's why I'm not worried about her. If that man's been in there and cured her and she's got, all the food
Did
and
he, did he
everything.
come out again?
I don't know. I was away by the time he came out.
Can you describe him?
Yeah, the man was tall. He had no hair, no beard. He was wearing robes. He looked an average man. He didn't have nothing sticks out as a distinguishing feature. He had no scars or anything. He looked pleasant enough. I saw the interaction when she answered the door. She let him in and then she came out and spoke to me. She was happy. He was a nice man. Nothing seemed untowards.
Okay. Has the chimney been smoking or whatever? Smells of cooking?
It did for the first couple of days, but then no, it hasn't actually. When I think about it, no, there's not been. The chimney hasn't been smoking. It did. I don't know how many days. When I'm thinking about it now, it did. It did. I guess I don't know. Maybe for a week, it did.
And, has anybody been out to get water from the well?
No, no one's been out to get water from the well. But like I say, she would have enough in there for a long time in jars. But I don't know if she would need to come out yet.
She'll just be quite little, isn't she? She's not going to be like tearing through stores and stores of food.
No, she's only about this big. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the size of Stinky Nook. She's tiny, yeah.
And the other staff?
I guess they've all just been sent home as well. I don't know, I don't see them because they don't have horses stabled here. No one else has been around. I'm only here because of the horse.
So
we need to remember too that this happens every few years here. Like, these guys are used to this happening. So
It's never happened to this extent in my lifetime. They say this is the worst in generations, and it's strange. We've had the disease problem before, but there's enough clerics in the town normally to deal with it. This is the first time that it's overrun the town in my memory.
So, what's the weather been like? Is it suspicious that the chimney's not been in use?
It's pretty cold, like, it's mid-autumn and it's temperate climate. Yeah, it's pretty cold. I guess it is suspicious that the chimney's not been in use for a week at least. Maybe 2 weeks.
And she would need to cook anyway, wouldn't she?
Exactly.
I imagine she would have enough dry foods that she could survive on it, but she wouldn't choose to. She would choose to cook food.
I think we better have a look around and see what we can see inside and decide whether or not we need to knock it up or
Yes.
Yes, we'll try not to disturb anything, you understand? You know, we're only just investigating to check after her well-being.
Of course, but whose authority are you here on? I mean, this is still my employer, guys.
Alf and Hank have authorised us to do this.
Oh, right, okay. I guess you better do it then. What? Oh wait, this is serious. You're sent by the Kingsguard.
Before we did it, we wanted to check with you whether whether things seemed odd. Because if you had said, "Oh yes, I saw her getting stuff going to the well yesterday,"
It does seem off, and it's only now that you mention it. It does seem off, but her not coming to the well isn't that off, because if she really wanted to not come out the house, she's got enough in there. I mean, she could survive on cider or beer or wine or anything she wanted for a year and be okay. She'd have enough water in there for a year. She's well stocked, I know that.
We don't know if the priest is still here, do we?
Well, if she's not been in contact with Elliot, and the priest may or may not be in there, I think there's quite probably something wrong. Let's have a look around.
Okay, well, I mean, don't let me stop you doing anything. I'm gonna be out here in 10 minutes. I'm almost finished here, and then I'll be out your way.
Yeah, well, we'll just look through the windows initially. You know, nothing obtrusive.
Okay, so Sneaky Nook, you're looking in that window.
Sorry, just before I leave Elliot,
Mm-hmm.
what sort of calluses has he got in his hands? Does it look like he's got the sort of calluses that you'd get acting as an ostler?
Yeah, like, and that would be using a lot of leather reins and straps and stuff, wouldn't it? Yeah, he does.
Okay.
It's a busy place with people coming in and out all the time with horses, so he has been doing that a lot. Yes, he has got calluses on his hands from doing it, yeah.
Good. So it's not an evil cleric pretending to be an ostler. Or something like that.
You are so paranoid, like.
When you're dealing with drow, they're masters of illusion and subterfuge.
You've never dealt with Drow yet, David. We've been playing for. You've been in the game for 5 months. We've never been playing with Drow yet.
He's a deep gnome. They're paranoid about drow.
He certainly is.
Say, since you've, yeah, not to mention you just have to put something like that with all the details hidden on the map. The VC's thinking there's something up. But I'm giving you the opportunity to say, no, there's nothing up.
I'm not saying anything. You need to look. I'm going to reveal that room then, since you went up to that window.
Yep.
You see what looks like a bedroom. 3 beds, a desk, a fireplace.
Yeah.
2
Guest
desks,
room,
a
you-
bed, chairs. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, the way it's decorated, it looks like a guest room in an inn.
Okay. It's not going to be possible to tell if there's any dust in there, because we're looking in through a not particularly good window.
Yeah. It's not like the windows we have these days.
No.
You don't get that clear vision.
Shall we carry on looking around the outside?
Darrow's going
Yeah,
for a look
we
up here anyway.
Oh, Darrow's going that way. All right, I'll follow Darrow.
Wait, Darrow had gone towards Sneaky Nook. So we would be there at the table, hadn't we? So yes, so yes.
Okay.
So you've looked in that window, you can see a room with a couple of nice rugs on the floor, a fireplace. Obviously there's, well, not obviously, but there's no sign of a recent fire at all in the fireplace. Not obviously, sorry.
Okay. I'll take a professional look at the window frames.
Mm-hmm. In what kind of professional context, like, could you break it open? Is it...
Could I kind of force it in some way to make my way in if needed?
You're very
this-
familiar with this
this-
style of window, yeah. You know how to crack this open without breaking it. Yes.
Okay. So,
But are you really that familiar with them?
no, I'm not. That's what I'm going to say.
But the thing
Windows
is,
generally, yes, but this is an above ground building.
it's an above ground building, but it's a very simple mechanism that would be similar to something from underground.
It'd probably be easier to do that than to try unlocking the door.
Yeah.
I know my limitations.
So you want to have
But, I'm not going to do it while until we've had a look around the place, and probably
Yeah.
won't do it in the sight of the ostler.
Yeah.
Is that another window just there?
Yes.
Okay.
See a bathroom.
Water.
There's a bath with... No, it's empty.
Okay. Right. Fine.
The bath is empty. And yeah, these are inside toilets,
Righty ho. Okay.
aren't they? I never really looked at the map good enough. They are inside toilets. Let me zoom in, show you.
Yeah, it has plumbing.
Yeah,
Yes.
this
This
is...
is an upper class inn.
These are indoor toilets.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your answer to that question.
Okay.
Weird gnomic features.
Plumbing.
And over here, more windows.
Yep, I'll just open both of them up for you then. So you see another bathroom and another bedroom.
No signs of occupation in any of these rooms,
No.
correct?
The fire is completely devoid of any sign of life. Like you see,
Do the fireplaces actually have kindling, etc., stacked ready for use, or is it just empty?
empty.
Hmm.
Maybe some black dust. But like you say, the windows aren't great, so you don't get the best look. Like you can't tell if it's dusty or not.
Okay. Righty ho. I'll try and avoid doing too much damage to the herbaceous borders. Over to there.
Okay, so
So we're not doing damage to the Vacious borders. Then,
No, if I damage them, it makes it harder to hide in them.
yeah. There is
You see what appears to be looks like another guest bedroom. A couple of desks, a chest, a fireplace, a bedside table, a bed. You can't really see round the corner there, so you can't really see what's going on there. Are you want to look in this?
Is that another window?
Are you looking in that one as you come past that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now our curtains mostly closed on most windows, but there'll be bits of light peeping in places. So I'm not going to say it's dark enough that infravision is involved. I'll give you normal light vision, so I can open up most of this room.
So that looks like the bar area.
Yeah, you've revealed the bar area.
And again, untenanted.
Yeah, absolutely empty. Clean though. There's not like empty plates and glasses and stuff on tables. Place is clean.
Yep.
Tidy anyway. Like you can't tell if it's dusty or not, like we say. But yeah, like chairs are tucked away under tables. There's no empty plates and glasses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The fire's out.
Yes. Okay. In that case, let's sneak around to the side and look in. I can look in that window and see if I can see any more of that room. If not, I'll move on to the next room.
Yeah, you see a curtain covering. See a couple of curtains covering sections. You don't really see what's going on. Sorry, Tammy, what you saying?
Is this is all like first level? Is this house all one level, or is there upstairs?
This is all ground floor. This is all ground floor, and as the guy told you, her house is upstairs.
Yeah, and if you look over the far side of the bar, there's some stairs up. So it's likely that that's the route up to the to her rooms. Okay. Move along to the next window. It's probably going to be guest bedrooms all the way down the side here, I would imagine. But
I'm just going to reveal the extra bits because it's nothing like worth hiding as a secret. It's just little bits that have got a little wall and a curtain for a bathroom. So I don't need to hide that from you. There's nothing exciting there. I'll just show you the whole room.
Yep, that's fine. Righty-ho, and we'll keep going around and looking in the windows until we see something that we're not expecting to see.
Okay, well you would notice, let's say by the time you get to this third room,
yep,
you would notice that the drawer from the desk or from the bedside table is on the floor. In fact, you've noticed maybe a chair's kicked over as well. This room's a bit of a mess.
No signs of blood or anything like that you can see.
Is the other coverlets and sheets disturbed?
The sheets on the bed?
Yes.
Not like maybe slightly, but not like someone's even sat on it. No, not even as much as that.
Right. Okay. So it's not somebody's been killed in their bed and their room searched and they've just pulled the covers back, roughly, sort of thing. Okay, but interesting. Okay, well, let's carry on round. Is there a window in this section or not?
Yeah, that's a big window.
Aha!
So I'll show you another whole room. Big one this time.
Everything looks okay in that room?
Everything is in place in that room.
Right, let's go around the back of the building. And
If you're having a good look. So because the last one you noticed the drawer was on the floor, you notice in this one the drawer's sitting slightly squint, like it's not been pushed in back straight. Like it's in but not quite right. It's out by a little bit.
So it looks either... I mean, the rooms themselves look tidy, which implies somebody's gone round and cleaned them up ready for the next guests, and in that case you would expect the drawers to be empty and closed. This is looking more like somebody's been searching for something. Well, I point this out to Darrow, Kiara, and Makar and Eleonora.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between those
What?
two rooms, and
Yeah.
I'm starting to get more concerned.
One thing we could inquire at the other inn is, have they had people turn up saying, "Oh, we were thrown out of the Cozy Raven"?
But then, if the owner of the Cozy Raven had weeks on her hands, I'm sure she'd go around tidying up the place.
Yes, I certainly don't think she'd just leave it in a mess.
No.
What's through that window?
Okay. Just a bit of the main area that you couldn't see from the other angle.
See from there. Yeah, fine. Right. Along to there, which is presumably underneath the staircase.
That's a door, that one.
Ah.
It's not a window, that's a door.
Presumably locked.
Do you want to
If
try
it's
it?
a back door, well, I will try it. I would guess if it's the back door, it's probably bolted as well as locked.
Okay. So you trying the door?
I will try the door. Yes.
It opens.
Oh.
Yes, that's suspicious. As though somebody came out of the back way so as not to be seen.
Are you opening it right up to see what the room is?
I'm just gesturing the party over, and when they are gathered, I shall then open the door and see what's inside.
Okay, you can see it's a kitchen, and this door next to it is open. So that door to this next part of it is open. You can see from there. So let's say that door has swung open. So many tools that way. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can see right in. That's the larder and kitchen.
So we should be able to get through into the main bar area from here, shouldn't we?
Pin and have a look in the kitchen. Does it look neat, or does it look disturbed, or kind of...
Very much disturbed. Like there's stuff on the floor, there's cooked and uncooked food all over the counters, there's some spilled on the floor, there's yeah, it's quite messy in the kitchen actually.
Yeah.
I kind of...
The storeroom, larder,
Yeah.
everything's all over the place in there.
Does it look like it's the after effects of a search? Or just somebody's been pulling stuff out regardless of the effect on other stuff?
Looks more like the latter, I guess. Sorry, go ahead, Peter.
I was going to say, or the load of rats having a go at stuff.
Well, the way that there's cooked and unfood cooked all over the kitchen wasn't rats. Rats didn't do that anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But they may have ransacked the storeroom though. That could have been done by animals because it's just food scattered all over from bags. But the food that's in that storeroom, it's just big bags of grain, huge bags of grain and rice and apples and potatoes, onions, stuff like that.
No sign of nibbling or signs of droppings, anything like that.
Yeah, there would be. Because the rats are a problem in the town at the moment. And yeah, they come from the sewers, but there are rats in the town too. And yes, you would find rat droppings and rat nibblings amongst the grains and the rices and things, definitely.
It may, of course, they may not be the cause, but they may
If
have
you-
just moved in after.
If you in fact go in that room, loads of wee rats would scurry out under your feet. Run away
Just
from you.
ordinary rats.
Ordinary rats, yeah. The kind of rats you would find in a larder that was left open.
Okay, Darryl, I think we need to check the rest of this place.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I shall venture over to the doorway here.
Okay. This door's open.
And then I'm going to listen.
This is like a saloon door into the bar. So you're going to open it and listen.
Yeah.
Make the roll.
Detect noise is 55%. So, do you want to roll for me?
I shall roll it in secret.
John, be good. I hear anything?
You don't hear anything. Nothing. Sorry.
Apart from the squeaking of the rats running away.
Ah, yeah, you hear
Right.
the rats running away.
Okay, what's here?
Okay, so there's a door there, and are you opening it?
Yep.
Should be getting towards the reception area.
Well, this may be another guest part. Okay. You following up, Darrow?
Yeah.
You see another bedroom there. This one, there are slight signs of things being slightly disturbed.
Okay. Have I seen any signs of an access to a cellar at all?
Yeah, you'd have went past one here. I forgot to draw one on the map. But there will be a cellar. Under the bar.
Okay. So there's a trapdoor to a cellar under the bar. Okay, well we can check that in a little while. Okay. On this side.
2 seconds.
Kiara, come inside.
I'm just moving my token now. Sorry, I was like following the map round myself and was forgetting to move her. I'm just sorting her.
There you go. There's a trapdoor now.
Okay.
So,
Righty-ho.
I'm revealing this bit for you. You see a corridor with some doors that look very much like the doors you've seen on all the other bedrooms.
Okay. I will just go down and check these rooms to make sure there's nobody actually in them.
Okay. There's no one in any of the rooms. They all look between perfectly tidy and slightly scuffed up.
Righty-ho. Okay.
But now that you're in the place, you can see that they are where they are tidy, they're dusty. In fact, even the ones that are scuffed up are dusty.
Definitely there's something wrong with the landlady. She'd be going around keeping the place clean. Okay, let's just check these doors here.
2 more bathrooms.
Okay, and then around the corner.
3 more bathrooms.
3 toilets.
Yeah, 3 toilets.
Right.
So sorry, that's just
Yeah.
a bathroom. That's a bathroom with toilet. 3 toilets.
And these are the cheap rooms, basically.
Yes, these are the rooms that don't have. In fact, I'll just let you do it.
They're
These are
not
the
en
rooms that.
suite.
Yeah, these are the non-en-suites.
Okay. All right. I will kind of tell Darrow what I've spotted, and I think we probably need to look upstairs before we.
Yeah, I think upstairs is
before we
sounds
worry, before we
more
worry
good.
about the cellar.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've got a map for upstairs. It's pretty small, but I have got a map for it. So if you bear with me a moment, I'll pop you onto that. And I'll have to reveal it little piece by piece. That should all be black for you, is it?
It is all black.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a New Zealand rugby team.
So I will, I guess, drop you guys back on it one at a time. What's the order? You come up the stairs, and I'll bring you up on that order.
Sneaky nook in front, of course.
Yep. Followed by.
Doing my job.
And Arrow will come, but you'll obviously wait to be gestured.
Okay.
I'm guarding the rear, so I'll.
Yeah, I'll just go
Bit at
in
the
front of Adamanka. Oh wait, hold on, because I think I put myself at the front of the stairs already.
Eleanor is somewhere.
Eleanor and Adamanka normally bring up the rear.
Oh, just open the character sheet instead of pulling the token over. There we go. There's the party coming up the stairs. So I have to reveal a little bit more map for you. So you should have that. Like 4 sections, 4 squares should be revealed to you, yeah?
Little
Five.
sitting room
5 now, a little sitting room, yes.
and empty fireplace.
Empty fireplace.
Empty, or the remains of an old fire.
The remains of an old fire.
I'm not even going to bother trying to tell how old it is. I'm not an expert in archaeology. All right, I think we'll open this door.
Well, that doesn't look good.
No.
I'll let you
doesn't.
process the image for a moment first.
1 second while I zoom in.
I shall do the same.
I need to as well.
Bum, 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 bum.
I'll wait till you're all zoomed in.
I'll say we're behind Sneaky Nook at the moment.
Okay, so
I'll
Sneaky
put
Nook.
my character around.
I was quite happy just staying like here. I'll just like hold up this watch.
Okay. Now I'll say that these doors were open, so I could just reveal that room there as well, because that door was open. So you all see what's on the map there, yeah?
Yeah. Does that look like 2 corpses?
That looks like a human male, that looks like a gnome female. Corpses. Dead, they're definitely dead.
And it looks like foul play rather than disease, correct?
You can see, if you bear with me a second, you can see blood coming from the neck and head area of the gnome lady. I forget her name again for a second. And something like the same, pulling around the blood, the head, neck, chest area, around and all over the rug and the wooden floor around the body of the man that's lying there.
They're presumably both old blood.
Yes, very much so.
Is there any
Dry blood.
sign of what sort of weapon or teeth or such like might have injured them?
Both bodies are face down. Do you want to investigate them closely?
What is at the moment?
Sorry?
I'm going to call the two clerics in because they're better dealing with whether these things are revenants or zombies or something else. I'm quite happy to move them around once the 2 clerics are here.
Well, none of you need to be a cleric to recognise the smell of a corpse. That's the first thing.
Yep.
They're at least dead.
They're certainly dead. My concern is whether they're
Undead, yeah. But they're at least dead. You get that from the smell. So they're at least dead.
Yes. As soon as I open the door,
These are clerics who don't really do anything to do with undead.
Yeah, you are
more to do with them than I do.
Yeah. They're the clerics that don't have turn undead ability. Clerics of Barrackthrum.
Maybe not. They know more about it than us scouts. As far as we're concerned, they're another monster.
You guys are all pretty well armed with holy water, though.
They're not a monster.
And if they're definitely dead, they're not going to turn into anything, because I don't think that's how lycanthropy works, is it?
No.
Do they just look murdered, or do they look like they were maybe poorly before they died?
They're both face down, like I say. Do you want to investigate the bodies?
No,
The
but
male-
how bad does it smell?
Smells.
Is it like dead smell or like infectious smell?
Well, you might want to turn them over with something, just in case there's rot grubs or something like that.
No. Say there's no. First of all, does the male human fit the description?
Well, first of all, Tammy's question is that does it smell of just death or does it smell of death and infection? It just smells of death. And the second question, Peter's question, yeah, he does fit the description.
As far as I'm concerned, they're another monster. You can see from the way they look, they're not human.
Yeah, he does fit the description.
Maybe not. They know more about it than us scouts. As far as we're concerned, they're another monster.
He does fit the description. Yo.
Okay. Do you want to do that, Kiara?
Yeah, sorry, I've moved over here now. Oh, sorry, I have to shout down. What's he called? Elliot.
Elliot, yes.
What was the little gnome lady? Well, both of them have been murdered.
Let me grab.
You need
I'll grab your name real quick. Sorry, you should have her name. Her name is Loop Mutton Wild Wonder. I will copy paste it into chat.
Just yell down to Elliot that to fetch a guard from the gate because his mistress has been murdered.
Yeah, quickly, and a possible cleric as well has been killed.
You're
But we
yelling.
need someone here.
You're
Yeah,
yelling
I'm
that
shouting
down to
the
Elliot.
stable boy. Yeah, he's gonna have to go get someone. I've went over to the window, and because it probably smells pretty bad.
Okay. So you shout down. Out the
Yeah.
window. Elliot.
They're both murdered. They've both been killed. You need to get the sheriff or get someone to come quickly.
You'll hear shit. Okay, I'm going. Oh shit. And you hear footsteps as somebody runs away. You don't see him because he was inside the stable and then he's ran around the back yet.
I was going to say, I'd have probably shouted, take the horse, like,
Why?
Oh,
it's faster.
No, it's not. It's
No,
he's
no.
one street away from the guards at the
Yeah,
gate.
exactly. He's only one street.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. He's one little turn away from the guards outside.
Yeah.
Is that a trapdoor in the ceiling?
No, that's a chest.
Oh, it's a chest. Oh, right, fine. Sorry.
Like a treasure chest or like a clothes chest.
Any chest or treasure chest if it's got treasure in it. If it's got clothes in it, it's a clothes chest. I was thinking about this today because I was actually thinking about chests and how not every chest is going to be ornate and have big brass like filigree and stuff. Some of them are just going to be wooden boxes with a wooden lid, but they've got treasure in it. So a treasure chest doesn't always look like what you imagine, what you picture when you think treasure chest. Sometimes it's just a wooden box.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was thinking for whether it looked like it fitted into the room or whether it looked like it was like, wow, here's a treasure chest.
That chest looks less ornate and decorative than most of the other stuff in the house. It looks more...
Like an ottoman.
Yeah, but more like it's sturdy and big and heavy and strong and the lock on it's huge and fancy and great. Like it's more purpose than style. It's more function than style. Whereas the rest of the house looks like it's around style. That looks like it's built around function. It just looks like it's a really strong, heavy box with a strong lock.
Does it look like the lock has been forced? Or an attempt made to force the lock?
Oh, you're right next to it, so you can see that the lock has been forced. The lock's popped off.
Thought so. Murder and robbery.
Yes. I mean, it sounds like it's not a clothes chest if it doesn't kind of fit in, because the clothes chest is an everyday item, isn't it?
Are
Yes.
there still rings on the gnome's body?
No, she's not wearing any jewellery.
No jewellery, so that's been stolen.
The cleric's also not wearing any jewellery.
Well, clerics don't tend to unless they're extremely ostentatious.
Yeah, you have ostentatious clerics. There's all sorts of gods, all sorts of clerics.
Assume he's not dressed in full armour and everything, if he was just
No.
making a house call.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's dressed in like church cleric clothes rather than adventurer cleric clothes. To simplify it. Yeah, he's dressed like the guys you just went to see. Not wearing armour, he's wearing robes. I could probably come back over this side now.
Probably only us, well, not me, because I don't wear armour, but it's only my colleagues here that tend to wander around in armour all the time because they're paranoid.
So yeah, he's not wearing armour, he's wearing...
the nicest things.
He's
You
wearing...
do.
I mean, his robes seem quite nice. Like, he's got silk robes with nice gold filigree and stuff. He looks like he's from a well-off church, at least.
I don't suppose anyone would recognise the symbols.
It would be random. I'd randomly roll it if you want me to, because there's no kind of background to him as a priest. There's no plot hook that he's a cleric of such and such. It would be random. It would be a random lawful or good god with no significance. So I can roll it if you want off a table, like I've got.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not, if it
isn't
if he doesn't
significant.
look like he's not a snake god or a spider god or something strange like that.
No, it would be a god of, like a clerical god, like a medical god, a god of healing, a god of protection, something like Barathrum, something not a million miles away. One of the good protection gods, the good.
Esculapius.
Yes, exactly. Something one of those. Remember some clerics, because the nature of the polytheistic kind of church that we have in this continent and in this country, many priests would carry 2 or 3 holy symbols, because they might want to pray to Pelor and then they might want to pray to Cord later for a different thing. And not everyone is like a strict priest of one religion, so he may even have 2 or 3 holy symbols on him.
Okay. Do we hear sounds of thundering feet as a guard arrives?
You will if you stick around for a couple of minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, you
Well,
will.
we're just waiting and guarding the bodies.
Yeah, we're giving the place a once-over as well, aren't we? Looking for clues.
Okay.
We're not touching anything.
You're just waiting there until the guards come.
Yep.
Right, well, Alf and Hank will come 2 minutes later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up here we call. Or does somebody want to go down and open the front door rather than the back door?
Well, I can go down and open the front door. Yep.
I'm just checking my notes 2 seconds, see if I missed anything.
Sounds like a good idea for me to go down and unbolt the front door, because otherwise they probably won't think of going around the back.
Okay, let me get back to the other map for a second, just so I can remind myself of the layout. I'll put you on it as well. So, you shouted from, so the house is up here, so it covers the main square. So you shouted from here down to here. He'll have ran out. You might have seen him nip out, so they went out there. So the guards would have came in here. This is the main entrance. They would have ran to the front door. So yeah, they'll be banging on the front door. Are you opening it for them, Madam Ankar?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so they come running in.
I'll point upstairs.
Elliot says she's been murdered. There's been a murder.
Yes, come quickly up the stairs here. We've left the scene undisturbed, so you can investigate it.
Right, I've not got tokens ready for these 2 guys, but they'll charge up the stairs. Alf and Hank will charge up the stairs to meet the rest of you guys.
We will point them at the bodies.
So they'll make whatever prayers they make to whatever gods they worship, if they do, and say the whatever, like, in modern society would say, oh my god, or whatever. When you smell something and see something like that, they're going to say all those, oh, okay, thank you so much for your help here. Okay, we must close this place.
We'll explain that the back door was unlocked.
It was unlocked.
It looks like the chest has been forced.
So he'll grab the top of it and see that the lid just lifts up. Yep, that's been forced. Looks like a murder burglary.
Want to move the bodies until you got here to check and see what the cause of death was.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So Alf's going to turn to Hank and say, you better go report this to the sheriff, So Hank will go off, and Alf will stay with you in the body until, the sheriff's going to come. So are you going to stick around with him while that happens?
Yes.
Yeah.
We will ask. Is it okay to turn one of the bodies to find the cause of death, or does he want to wait for the sheriff?
No, it's okay. You can I mean, you're here. You are here to investigate on our authority. Go ahead. If there's anything you can tell me about what happened here by having a look, go ahead and have a look.
Okay,
I'm supervising you here. I know you're not up to anything.
Okay, in that case, I will ask everybody to see if there's anything to memorise the position of the gnome's body, etc., and just see if they can see anything out of the ordinary, and then I will reach underneath with my sheathed swords and try and turn the body.
Flip her over.
Yep.
Like you're grilling her. Okay, you can see that her throat is slashed right open. Quite clearly see her throat slashed open. Her head's hanging like back like that.
Right.
It's quite grisly sight. It's cut right open, not like just like a slash, but like a.
So it's not
cut.
It's not a simple cut. It's actually somebody's. Does it look like a sword wound?
It looks like more than a dagger. Or a big knife, because it's like not just like a gentle slit where you just go for the jugular and it's precision stuff. It's like cut the fuck open. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's
Okay.
our throats
but
ripped
it is
open.
an edged weapon rather than claw or a bite or that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obvious enough that I don't need you to have any kind of proficiency to tell that. You know what a sword wound looks like. It's a sword or a big knife wound or a huge dagger wound, I guess, yeah.
But possibly as you might if somebody were held or slept, you might kill them before they could wake up or recover.
Yeah, you've probably put a few of these on a few held and sleeping people. You've probably done this to people before, yeah.
Okay, I think we'll just lift the priest's body slightly and just check and see whether it's the same thing for him or whether it's a different type of wound.
It's definitely a different type of wound.
Ah.
The blood was around his chest and neck, but there's no big gash open wound in his neck. Are you flipping him right over?
Let's flip him over.
Several small, what look like smaller versions of crossbow bolts are sticking out of his chest and throat. The wounds.
I'm waiting for Dave.
The used crossbow bolts.
The wounds
Drow!
where the bolts are sticking in, the wounds look to be infected.
My God, is this it, guys? Is this what are they here now?
What, you finally got drow? No.
Is it?
Other
No?
people have hand crossbows.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Everything smells of drow to David. What can I do?
I'm sorry, my whole hometown was destroyed by them.
If I
I
had,
see signs
listen,
of them everywhere.
if I dropped the Tarask on his head, he'd be like the drow summoned the Tarask. You mean?
The fact that you haven't realised their plots up here on the surface just means that they are being even more devious than usual.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you've cottoned onto their plot up here on the surface, David. Because I don't know what's going. I don't know what the drow are doing up here on the surface. You know more than I do about it.
Well, they're
There's no
obviously
doubt.
spreading disease through their infected crossbow bolts.
Obviously.
Well, when you say that there is infection around the crossbow bolts, does he look as though he's ill and the bolts have just opened him up? Or does it look like something spread from the bolts?
Yeah, his face looks fine. Apart from being 2 weeks dead. 2 weeks ago it looked fine. But no, it's like where the wounds are, there are infectious boils and lumps around the wounds of the mini crossbow bolts.
Okay. Arrow, Eleonora. That looks extremely suspicious.
The person I'd cured.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have similar lumps and boils and so on?
No. The disease they had was like respiratory, like coughing up phlegm, then coughing up blood, having problems with your lungs and your chest and your throat. It was one of those diseases. This is, from your knowledge, the level you guys are now, you can tell it's a poisoned crossbow bolts. Poison. It's like or an acid or something that's corroded the skin or has poisoned the skin or infected the skin as it's wounded him.
Right. So it's not so much an infection. It's more it's dissolved or it's dissolution of
Like a contact poison. Or a contact acid or something that's done damage with the crossbow bolt to the skin.
The more you talk about this, the more it's reinforcing my idea that it's drowned.
It's highly suspicious. Isn't
Maybe
it?
maybe I just like to wind you up with stuff that almost sounds like it's drow, David. Maybe I've caught it onto you and now I just do it for fun.
I don't really care if it gives you pleasure to wind me up or wind my character up. Go ahead. Right, but so it looks as though, yeah. So can we figure out where the bolts came from? Was it somebody in the door fired them and the body fell that way?
Now this is real. This is CSI detective stuff. Like, so what kind of non-weapon
Yeah.
proficiency do you have that kind of covers this?
I don't know. Let's have a look and see. Hunting, tracking. Not really. No.
Almost, because you're trying to determine what angle somebody was shot from. Make a hunting, tracking proficiency check with -10, and I'll tell you where he was shot from.
Okay.
There you go. Failed. So nah, you can't tell where he was
my
shot
tracking my hunting and tracking are both only 10, so failed.
from. There you go. So you had to get the maximum roll to make it. You didn't make it. No. So you can't tell from what angle he was shot from. I mean, they all pierce him on the front, but he could have been twisted round anyway when he fell over. It's it's impossible to tell.
How many bolts are there?
6. Like in his chest and
Hang
throat.
on a second. Are those standard quarrels, or does it look like some sort of repeating type crossbow?
You're a crossbow expert?
I'm Bowyer Fletcher.
Make a proficiency check on that.
You're Bowyer Fletcher, and your weapons go wrong so often.
I didn't make it.
I would say
made it by 10.
I would say that tells you, because it's that making it by 10 will give you enough to say that you can tell that they're from a hand crossbow. You can't tell if they are from a repeating hand crossbow. They could be, but let's say you've not got quite enough experience with those to know. But they're certainly from a hand crossbow. They're smaller than a light crossbow.
But looking at the angles of them,
Mm-hmm.
if they all came from one person firing repeatedly, then the priest's body would have moved, and they would be at slightly different angles going in.
Mm-hmm.
If they all came kind of almost in one go,
Mm-hmm.
they would be all going in the same angle.
Now,
Unless it was 6 people all shooting at once.
Now, this is interesting that you're actually making a point of asking this, because they do look all to be kind of in line and sticking out in almost the same direction. Like somebody had 6 of them lined up and went. That's what it looks like.
On top of each other.
Somebody with 6 hands and 6 crossbows.
That's an interesting theory.
Or it could be a gnomish mechanism. which
Contraption.
fires 6 bolts at the same time.
This is a gnome woman you are talking to. Her whole inn is indoor plumbed with toilets. She's got
Unless,
all the
of
gnomish.
course, does it look as though the chest was trapped by any chance?
There's no signs of any burn marks from an explosion or acid erosion or.
No holes where crossbow bolts might come out if you tried to prise it open.
Are you having a close?
When Alf lifted the chest, was it
when he
empty?
Yes.
So there's no mechanism inside that could have fired crossbows.
There was no mechanism inside.
Nope.
And there's no other chests around that might have been trapped.
No. In fact, you notice that there's no jewellery boxes, there's no clothes chests, there's no, like, the place is actually stripped a bit bare, like it's been robbed.
Yeah.
no suspicious footmarks in the blood that this guy left on the carpet.
Roll tracking. Yeah, there's footmarks in the carpet.
Ah,
Nice.
what size?
Roll another same check. Roll that again.
No.
There are several, and they're kind of all scuffed together. It's clear that there's more than one set of footprints. It's difficult to tell what size they are because they're so jumbled up together. And there's at least 2 sets. And it's hard to. They look roughly humanish.
Right.
Have a closer look. Make one more check. Have a closer look and make one more tracking check. Because there is one more
Okay.
detail I can give you if you make it. If you make it.
Yes, in actual fact, made it by 6.
Okay. They're human-sized and they seem to be like barefoot prints.
Barefoot.
Yeah.
Well, that's unusual.
And if they,
Because you
Unless
biggies
they
always
were
wear
weird.
boots and things, don't you?
unless they were were-rats or something.
It's do halflings traditionally go barefoot?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're human size, not halfling size.
I was going to say,
Don't-
halflings aren't biggies like you lot.
They have.
Don't halflings
they
have
quite
big feet?
though.
Halflings have disproportionately big feet. So a halfling foot would look like a big human foot. I'm sure halflings' feet are like disproportionately big, like bigger than a human's on these little guys. Or at least as big as a
Like
human's.
hobbit.
Yeah, a halfling is a hobbit, same thing. It was a copyright issue. That's the reason it got a different name.
Okay, sorry, that was me just trying to.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no, it
throw
is.
something
Yeah,
at
no,
them to
exact
get to.
exact same race. It's exact same thing. It's only called a halfling in Dungeons and Dragons because of fucking copyright issues in the 80s with Tolkien. Isn't that right, guys?
Yep. In the original rules, they were called hobbits, but they had to change them to halflings.
Yeah, you got not allowed to do it.
Christopher Tolkien objected.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing that I had in my head for halflings anyway. So
Yeah.
whoever's been describing them's done a good job.
Yeah, hobbits. They are hobbits.
Ah,
There are, if you look in the D&D lore, there's a couple of different races of halflings. There's like the Broadfoot and the Tall Fellow or something like that.
Yeah, there's the stout,
Stout and the Tall Fellow, that was it.
and then I think there's a third one.
I think there's a feral race of them as well. There's a few different races, sub-races of halflings. But yeah,
Airforce, I think it's or something like that.
but yeah, your standard one, just like Frodo and Bilbo in the Lord of the Rings, yeah, that's a halfling.
Yes, and I hear they're often employed as burglars.
a foul canard spread by jealous thieves.
Yeah, as I'm not playing, I'm playing a dwarf this time, and not a certain in Docksmith, honest guard. I'm not
Right.
playing mild colorless.
Can I go down and check the back door and have a look to see whether or not whether the lock was picked? Are there the kind of scratch marks that you'd get when picking a lock from the outside?
Make me a pick locks check with a plus 25% bonus.
Boom. So my open locks is only 35%, so that should be a 60%
60 or
chance.
under.
So percentile dice 30.
You made it. I just realised I don't actually have the thing on screen that shows the dice rolls. I'll just put it back on screen for the moment. Yep, so you made it. So, yeah, you can tell that lock was picked.
Okay, I will tell that to the sheriff
When he arrives.
when he arrives.
Yeah, okay.
Should we check the cellars?
I think we should, yes, just for completeness.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll check with the guards. Say we
Okay.
shall
Right. We'll assume the guard is going to stay in that room with the bodies for the time being.
Until the
I think
sheriff comes.
We've found everything we can up there. Let's nip down to. We'll tell him we're going down to the ground floor and we're going to check the cellars. But it looks like they picked the lock and got in that way. But we're just going to check the cellars.
Okay. So there's a cellar door under the bar. You want to check the cellar?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. When you get to the cellar, you see lying on the floor in the middle of the cellar a half-naked man.
Dear.
Which
Half-
half?
Which half?
Well,
Good question. Top half. Top half. He's still got some trousers on. Bare feet, trousers on, shirt off. Bottle in one hand, bottle like falling out of the other hand, spilt booze all over the floor.
It doesn't look like he's dead drunk or dead of alcohol poisoning, though.
How close for a look are you going?
I'm going to call. Get one of the others to get the guard down from upstairs, and I'm adopting a defensive position at the top of the stairs, just in case he's not dead drunk.
Okay, I don't have a map for this, for the cellar, but it is just a drunk. It's a man who's like found his way in when the door's been open and he's steaming blind drunk. The guard's trying to rouse him. He's trying to wake him up, but his eyes just close again. He's trying to stand him up, but he just falls to the ground again.
But he doesn't look as though his clothes have been ripped, as though perhaps he had changed his shape and ripped his clothes. It's just that he's staggering around.
He's staggering around blind drunk. His clothes are lying over there. I've got a name for him as well.
Are his feet? Are there traces of blood on his feet?
No. He is barefoot. That's a good question. The guard that comes down, was it Alf or Hank? I can't remember, but the guard that comes down and go, Thomas, how the hell did you get in here, you drunk old bastard? Get out of here, you'll be arrested. Actually, you stay here. And he'll grab Thomas. You're coming down the station, you opportunist drunk bum bastard, you. And he'll like stand him up against the wall, but Thomas is like falling back over. He's like, I'm sorry. And there's a drunk guy falling all over the place, and your guard is now preoccupied with trying to keep him on his feet. And he's sincerely pissed off, and he's getting arrested and marched down to the station.
Yeah, I think he must have come in later because he couldn't have stayed down there for as long as that blood has been dried without starving or dying of something.
There's no bloody footprints down the stairs.
Yeah.
Do you say there were bloody footprints down the stairs?
No. On the stairs or downstairs? No. The bloody footprints were only upstairs.
Yeah,
Is there? Oh, I don't think I'm in the cellar, but.
Is anyone actually... Well, who went down? How many people went down?
Well, I went down. I don't know if anybody else came down with me, but I'm going to ask Darrow to come down to check and see if there are any signs of hidden accesses into the cellar.
Okay.
That was my
Secret
exact
door.
question.
Yeah, you got to look for ways in. Okay, so no, there's not.
Okay.
You see a well-stocked wine cellar. Wine, beer, honey mead, spirits. And half of them are cracked open, and there's half of them are spilt all over the place because the town drunk's been in here when he saw that the place was closed, but the door was open.
Can I have a look in the wine?
Now, around at this point, okay, so yeah, just before something happens, you're looking around in the wine. What you let me guess what you're looking for.
I'm looking for kind of gnomish symbols.
Let's say there's a purpley, browny, bluey looking wine that you instantly recognise. That's it. That's mushroom wine. Let's say there's 1d4 bottles there. Roll 1d4, David. Let's say there's 1d4 bottles of gnomish wine. She is a gnome. There are 4 bottles of gnomish wine, David.
I'm not taking them.
You're not taking them. Well,
no.
At this point, Hank or Alf, whoever it was, has marched Thomas the drunk back up the stairs. You're now down in the cellar, just you and Darrow, or whoever went down.
Yes, but it's not my property, so I'm not taking it.
I'm not looking.
The 2 people downstairs in the cellar are the two lawful members of the party.
Yeah.
I'm turning a blind eye.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you're a bunch of chaos.
Kiara, are you going down? Are you going down the cellar at all?
I want to now, but before I don't think I would have. I think I would have just stayed like in the first floor,
Well,
ground floor.
the thing is, Sneaky Nook's not verbalising that he was thinking about stealing it. And
No,
then
I'm just checking, and I may have a word with the sheriff about the estate. And
Okay.
Can I make a contribution to it?
Right, so
The other thing is, back of the bar.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see if there's any cigar boxes.
There might be. Yeah, there'd be probably quite a few different cigar boxes. Yeah.
Yes. Any with kind of particular Nomi symbols on?
This place is owned by a gnome, David.
Exactly. Why did you think I wanted to come here and stay?
Yeah, there's a box of gnomish cigars behind the bar. They look like really nice ones.
Ooh.
They smell amazing, actually. You can smell them without even opening the box. You can smell them from 6 feet away. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, mushroom cigars.
I'm afraid that this is probably quite obvious to the party that Sneaky Nook is kind of.
Are you having an attack of conscience?
I'm not taking them.
I'm looking at the back door. I'm not looking in your direction.
Remember, like I've always said, David, your alignment is dynamic. I will move it
Yes,
when,
I know. I am
when I see
resisting
fit.
the temptation. I'm going to make a contribution to the estate and purchase them.
Okay. Right. Okay, then, at this point, the sheriff arrives and Hank will leave with the new prisoner, with Thomas that's getting arrived, and the sheriff says, well, what the fuck is going on here, eh?
I don't know. Somebody picked the lock on the back door and broke in, and it looks like they've rifled the place. They've murdered the lady owner by slitting her throat. Well, almost cutting her head off. And they killed the priest or the person that was with her. And I'll take him upstairs and show him the.
Okay, so you go back up the
crossbow
stairs.
bolts.
You go back upstairs with the sheriff.
And before we actually go any further, I will have a look. I'll kind of point out the bloody footprints and then see if I can. Where do they actually leave the carpet, or is it only on the carpet that you can see them?
Roll me one more tracking proficiency check.
Or does it look like they wiped their feet on the carpet before getting off? Tracking proficiency. I really should be better at this. Nope, failed.
It's hard to tell.
Hard to tell. Okay. But
If there's no blood on any other carpet or on the floor, they must have removed it in some way, mustn't they?
Yeah. Your guess is that they've wiped it off with the rug, but it's hard to tell. Like you say, he's not made a good job of his check, so he can't really tell.
Yeah.
So the sheriff will see the two corpses and he'll say, "Oh no, and he shakes his head. And there's you can almost see from the corner of your eye that there is a tear in the man's eye. This is obviously a popular person around town, and at this point it's 5 to 11, so it will fade out there and we'll pick up there next week.